out of your body. Did you queef?
Out of my mouth?
But the biggest question is, what makes us different? So many products, why should you try us? Quite frankly, the other brands are all like. Just read the labels, the nutrition tables, thick vitamins that make the body unstable. The ingredients, yeah, they get the smiling faces, but the ones you really need, you get the small trick. It's all the trick, flip what you get the tip. Yae Organics.
Man, he's having a good time.
Why is his eye so unfocused?
That man's got a lazy eye for sure. Why he smile like that though?
Right.
Pasty greens.
Yay. Why'd you show us this?
Okay, because that's a real product. This is not a skit or anything. This is like a real product that can be bought. And I may or may not have a tab open with it, looking at whatever the fuck they sell. Because at this point, I don't even care what it is. I'm gonna buy something. Usually, I hate attempts at like inserting like music and especially rapping into commercials, mostly because it usually feels so like not necessarily soulless. It's just like usually like very basic rap, like very like Dr. Seuss level, like just shit. Whoever wrote this rap, I don't know if he did it or if he got someone to do it for him or someone he knew did it. Whoever wrote it, this was actually like a good rap. That was the weirdest shit to me. And I guess that is the founder. That is the founder of that product.
Interesting.
Yae Organics.
I thought you were about to tell me that his name was Yae Organic and he founded a company named Yae Organics.
That would
I was gonna be like, that's what the wildest thing
that
I've
would
ever
have
heard.
been amazing. No, his name is Lorenzo. And he's the founder of Yae Organics. And you know what? I love it. That is the first time a commercial like that has gotten me. And I don't even know what the fuck the product is. It looks like just like health shakes or some shit. It's not protein. Well, like kind of like protein shakes. It's like powdered shit. And
Yeah, it looks like powder of sorts. Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna buy something just to support, just support the company.
Just to support, small music.
Small music, black-owned companies.
Yeah.
All that fun shit. So yeah,
Love to see it.
I love to see it. I completely forgot.
I'm
what
just
that
so
link
glad
was.
that he's giving work to his brother-in-law, who's very clearly special.
Wow. What?
I didn't say anything.
All right.
Or
Oh man,
some of those flavors were interesting though.
they were. I do have that tab open on my phone. I'm gonna go look at and just like see what they offer.
There's a certain flavor that like piqued your interest in the commercial, or is it just like
It was the song. I was like, this is actually kind of a bop of a rap. Like, okay, I'm kind of into this. Why not? But yeah. Guess whose parents learned about the podcast today?
Izzy's. Nope.
No.
how do they learn? What do they do?
They were asking me about it. Like I've told them in passing that we record for a podcast. Today was the first time they asked me about like specifically where to find the podcast and what it's called.
Well, that's fun.
They may have watched a short while I was over visiting them. It's
Oh,
okay.
really?
Yeah.
Which one was it? Was it like a super embarrassing one?
No. I don't think anything.
None of the
we've done-
shorts really have
Nothing we've done on this show is anything I will call super embarrassing. Like, I'm not ashamed to show my parents. The biggest thing I told them, I was like, yeah, I might not want to watch it because I do cuss a lot. So, but they already knew that about me anyway. So it's fine. No, it was the one about the would you rather find a dead body or know when your family's gonna die.
Oh,
Did
okay.
they discuss that one?
We didn't discuss it. I should have.
I was gonna say, what would they have said?
I should have got their answers on it. No, they were just looking at stuff. That was also back when Gizmo was still with us.
Yeah.
My boy.
It made my mom sad. But no. So yeah, my mom now officially knows. So I have to tell both of your parents too now.
No.
Yeah, that will be.
It's gonna happen someday.
Oh, they'll know. Oh,
Your
Alyssa
sister now knows.
She
Yeah.
knows, yeah.
I thought you would have been told her. I was
No,
shocked she didn't know at all.
I mean, if I did, it also might have been in passing, but I never. Like,
She said
Well,
she's
it's
not
not
heard
like she's
anything
part of the
about it.
target
Yeah.
audience.
I mean,
or-
that too.
Yeah, she's probably the furthest removed from any of the nerdy shit that we like to talk
Yeah, that's fair.
about.
That's very fair.
Nothing we really talk about is of interest to her unless it's like about a superhero movie or some sort. But even then, that's pushing it because she likes real life, like
Media.
like dramas,
Drama.
of real people.
Yeah.
Maybe not doing real things, but like, none of the superpower stuff. Even that's like pushing it. She'll watch superhero movies, but if it's not Marvel or DC, maybe
Right.
she is not interested.
That's fair.
She wants to see real life people in real life situations,
That is fair.
and I get that.
Right. It's for some people. It's not for all.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Yeah.
made up.
It's all made up. Fuck.
So yeah, all like Disney stuff, anime stuff. She does none of that.
Which is, that's not. It's the Disney part that I find a little like interesting or kind of not. I don't want to say shocking, but that's the only word I can really come up with in my head right now.
Mm.
Cinderella's real. That's a historical drama, right?
It's a period piece.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I was shocked when she was saying that too, but like, it makes sense because she was never too, giddy to go see it. Like, she'll sit down and watch a Disney movie, but she'll never be like really wanting to go see something like that.
What was the movie we like tricked her into going to see? It was like a big group of us. We all went to see it, and she didn't realize it was going to be animated. I think.
Yes. Was it a Disney movie?
I don't think it was a Disney movie. I doubt it because
Mm.
I don't go see Disney movies very often.
I was gonna maybe a Marvel movie.
Sonic, Detective Pikachu,
No.
the Barbie movie,
No.
Madam Web.
No.
Fuck no. Have either one of y'all seen Madam Web?
No.
No, I got an invite to go see it, but I decided that I didn't have time.
Did the people who invited you to go see it, did they give a critique about it?
I haven't heard shit from them about it.
Fair enough. I've not heard a lot other than everyone's real upset with it.
Wait, why?
Apparently it's real bad.
So
Wow.
it was made by the same people who created Morbius and some of the other movies that have bombed. And apparently it shows.
Awesome.
So I haven't seen Morbius either though. So
Great.
who am I to say?
Gives me real confidence about that Zelda movie.
What are they also?
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
The
The person, the director is the director behind Morbius and some other stuff.
Nintendo needs to pull up before they get pregnant.
Wasn't it the guy who did Maze Runner? What is that?
Oh, you're right. The
Maze Runner was not good.
Yeah.
Even as a child who like literally anything you put in front of my face, I was like, this is not it, man.
It was
well, like I
kind of
read
boring.
the book series. That's like the one book series that I actually read, maybe because I had to for class.
of course.
At least that's the series I chose to read because we could choose to read a series, and I chose to read that series. I liked the books. The first couple were better, and the first movie was all right. And then I think if I remember them, because I don't remember them that well, the second
Was
one
there a
wasn't
second?
that great. Yeah, they did all of them. They did release movies of all three of the original
Damn.
Wow.
books.
I read the first book and I enjoyed it. I don't remember anything except for the fact that the descriptions of the monsters left a pretty deep impression on me because I thought it was very spooky. Because the way they described them wasn't like there's something like animalistic. It was like a thing, like a ball of spikes and teeth, and I was like, that would be freaking scary.
I know shit all about Maze Runner.
Didn't they make them look like spiders or something like that in the movie? It's been a while.
I don't remember anything about the movie. It's like I just completely amnesia'd it. Like I sort of remember like the architecture.
Let's look up the trailer right now.
Maze Runner?
Yeah. What year was that? I feel like I'm gonna say 2020.
It's got to be before 2010.
I enjoyed, like I said, I remember enjoying the first movie for sure. And then the second one, I think I remember being okay. And then I don't even remember if I saw the third one, or maybe I did and I amnesia'd it.
Fair.
Because it wasn't that great. But I remember the first one fondly. I can say that.
Fair enough. I'll just open it up to see what it is. Like, I've completely forgotten why we got on the topic of why we even got on this topic of Maze Runner.
Director of the Zelda movie.
Ah, that's right. Is it the director or was it Ahmad Productions, the production company?
Production company, I think is.
Okay, because I remember they like their portfolio was pretty impressive, but it also included stuff like Morbius and shit.
Okay. Yeah, production company might be a little different, maybe, than like directing and producing and stuff.
Maybe.
I mean,
Was it the director who did Madam Web, or
Yeah, I think it's the director.
the director did Madam Web? Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be a different wheelhouse then. All right, hype for the Zelda movie back
How
on.
did they get a second movie? Sorry. How did they get a second shot at that?
I don't know.
Who knows, man. There's a lot of movies where it's like y'all clearly wrote a contract in which you got 3 movies, regardless of how the first one does. Like, there's a few things that are kind of like that.
Not to mention Cinderella 8 or whatever.
What?
Huh?
There were too many Cinderella movies.
There is a lot of Cinderella movies. Don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of like.
Cinderella.
You mean like as in like sequels to a Cinderella movie, or
Like all the straight to VHS stuff. There's got to be at least 5.
Oh yeah.
probably.
I feel like that's what happened to most Disney classics, though. Like,
Aladdin has like fucking 4 straight to VHS.
yeah,
Or
Lion
straight to,
King
like,
has
TV.
like 4 or 5 of them.
Right.
Cinderella 2. Cinderella gets cooked.
Because I know there's a lot of iterations of, like, there's a lot of like interpretations of Cinderella. I've never heard of like. I'm sure there's at least a Cinderella 2 because
Oh, I know there is. I remember distinctly. I think the prince doing something like jumping out a window or some shit.
gotta get them action movie shots, man. Gotta get the action fans.
If I remember correctly, I think evil stepmom gets magic power and undoes the results of the first movie, and the prince has like memory flashbacks, and like has to come
Just decides to yeet himself out a window.
and like has to restore the timeline or something like that.
What the flag? Fuck.
And you have to wonder what's going on in Cinderella 4. Like,
Well, it's
Aliens?
the
The
same as
throes
Cinderella.
of motherhood.
oh,
It's the same as Cinderella 2, but now one of the sisters gets. So you could do that for each of the sisters. And then,
I think they did make a movie about the sisters.
They might have. Don't worry about me.
I don't know why I tangentially
One of them-
know something
a
about.
couple of the manhwas I'm reading are loosely based on the Cinderella story, and they're so much better than the Cinderella
Really?
period. Like, yeah, just the.
And then there was episode 14
I saw
too.
that.
Well, like I didn't get to talk about that one show that I was going to talk about last week. So
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
A Wicked Tale of Cinderella's Stepmom. Great.
is that what it's called? A Wicked Tale of
The manhwa.
the manhwa. Okay.
I'm
I thought you were
so
still on the
disappointed.
Cinderella.
I am
stuff.
a Cinderella.
There's a
But
manhwa?
it's a manhwa where a girl wakes up inside of the body of the stepmother.
Oh, interesting. And the story plays out fully from there. Like, is she altering the story of Cinderella, or is this like
Yeah.
after the
Well,
story?
like she
of
has to like, and then she's like, well, what do I fucking do now? And then there's also like, they add things like politics into it, and a love interest for the stepmom, and like,
Fuck off.
Interesting.
Oh, in the manhwa. That's
Yeah.
right. Never mind.
See, that's where I started to get confused too. I was like, wait.
Oh, fucking love interest
Okay.
for this.
it's
stuff.
not carbon copy Disney Cinderella. It's like its whole ass own story. But I think
But it's
that,
definitely heavily based off Cinderella.
yeah, like,
Or at
Okay.
least that story.
and the prince falls in love with the older stepsister, and Cinderella doesn't want to get married at fucking all. She's like, fuck men. It's great.
Fair enough.
Apparently, I'm tripping. There's only 3 Cinderella movies. Maybe I'm thinking Shrek.
I assumed you were. Well, there's only 4 Shrek movies.
Oh yeah,
I assumed.
but there's also like a spin-off or
Yeah.
2.
Well, there was the Puss in Boots spinoff.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any other. Not that I'm aware of.
Was
Gonna
there
get another Shrek movie.
a Shrek series?
On TV?
Yes.
Not that I recall.
The Minions, if Fast and the Furious can still be going strong, Shrek can still be going
Shrek
strong.
could still be going
so
strong.
can Shrek.
All right.
Bring back
If,
Shrek.
if Minions can get a single sequel, we can get more Shrek.
They have like 5.
We could.
I mean, they're gonna reboot it at some point, right?
Shrek?
Yeah.
Live action.
Oh,
Hold on, because here's the thing: Shrek is not a Disney IP, so
Yeah.
let's calm that down.
Yeah.
DreamWorks doesn't seem to be as interested in fucking up their IPs that
Right.
Disney is.
Which is why I'm like, if we don't have any more Shreks, I'm honestly okay with
Cool
that.
with that.
I think
I'm not.
Shrek could have ended
Infinite
after.
Two.
Shrek 16,
Yeah.
Shrek Human Centipede.
No,
'Cause-
motherfucker. Absolutely not.
Canceled. Canceled instantly.
Like Shrek 2 was a masterpiece of a film.
Shrek 2 was amazing.
Shrek 3 was,
It,
and I never watched Shrek 4.
It dug down like that. Shrek 4 was actually good.
Was it pretty good?
I think it was way better than 3.
Fair enough. That's not hard.
Yeah. It was like Shrek 1, Shrek 2, maybe even this.
right.
Shrek 3,
I feel like Shrek 2, like, fucking really.
it's up there
Hit the
for
mountain.
I
sure.
don't remember
Probably,
Shrek
yeah.
2 very well.
And
Huh?
Shrek,
I don't remember Shrek 2 very well.
Okay. We'll refresh your memory someday.
yeah.
Like, just as a, like, story, like, just as a story, it's fucking fantastic. And then, like, all of the pop culture references are really, like, are fucking on point. All of the characters are fantastic. Fairy Godmother is such a good villain.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Shrek 2 is peak Shrek.
Yeah.
Like, that's the Shrek I think of when I think Shrek.
Why
Shrek
would there
1.
be a fairy mother of fish?
No.
Just no.
Fairy cod mother.
Bruh.
I wanted to make you guess, but then you refused,
No.
so I couldn't move on. to tell you no.
Refuse. No. Shrek's pretty great. Motherfucker, you keep doing this to me. What the fuck were we even talking about, and why did we get here?
Oh, talk about the Dookie train, obviously.
What?
That was one of our tangents last week.
Yeah, this episode's gonna be great. What the fuck is this?
You've seen this before.
Have I seen this before?
I
think
showed
you
it to
have.
you last week at least.
Did you show it to me or did you send it to me? Because those are two different things.
No, I think we all
pretty sure
watched
I
it.
showed
I
it.
remember Kent showing it to me after he showed it to you.
Oh.
Picking up stones.
I hate
Wait, is he serious?
An engine
Okay.
and broke Mickey's bones. Said Mickey, that's not fair. Oh, said the engine driver, I
Fucking
don't care.
It's my favorite GIF. Like of all
that GIF is
time.
pretty great. Oh my god.
In the comments.
It's the whole B movie. I can't get over this fucking gif. This gif is fucking fantastic.
What is it even called?
I don't know. They're
The GIF?
yeah.
I just searched Disney dancing, and it's one of the things that pops up, and I use it anytime I see a post that has some kind of beat to it.
Yeah.
I just post it.
For any audio listeners, it's just a gif of Winnie the Pooh, Ariel from Little Mermaid, Donald Duck, and 2 unnamed NPCs just like doing this
They
real
really
weird
are
like
fucking NPCs though.
2-step shuffle.
on like a Skate 3 set.
Like it's like what you would see backup dancers doing in like during a repose of like where like the main artist is just like talking to the crowd, but the music's still playing, so they have to just be doing something. It
is my favorite GIF right now, and
It
it has
is-
been for probably a couple months.
it is such a great gift to just see in a comment section to a good appropriate post, and this is one of them.
And sometimes it lines up perfectly with the post. So like,
Oh my god!
when you're looking at the comments, you just see it, and you're like, okay, okay, Ariel, okay.
All right. Oh my
Thing
goodness,
came
fucking
through
gracious!
And broke Mickey's bones. This is all from last week.
Oh well, this stuff is
This,
from last
yeah,
week. There
I
stuff
was
we didn't
specifically
get
talking about the show that I wanted to talk
to.
about.
What did we not get to?
Scroll up right there, and a couple other things about.
Oh, did we not talk about Airbender?
we didn't.
No, we
Oh,
didn't. We
shit.
decided to skip it because we were so far along.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Let's talk about that today. Because you.
There's a couple other things too above that about Avatar.
Mhm.
Oh, and that too was the thing.
Is this the new one that opened up, or is it something? Specific?
Something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is there a burger in our chat?
So
It looks good.
yes.
Doesn't
So Burger King, I actually don't know how much longer it's out for, but they apparently put out some kind of like burger contest.
Mm-hmm.
And on this website, you basically make your own Whopper and submit it. And it's like whoever's Whopper gets chosen, they're calling it like the $1 million Whopper. I don't know. I don't remember the rules. I don't know if you win $1 million if yours gets picked. I don't know exactly, but like basically it's a contest. If you make a Whopper and they're like, yes, that's good, we're going to actually make it, you win. I forget what you win exactly.
I would
But
hope $1 million.
I would, yeah, right. And so I made that one because for some reason, I guess I haven't seen like a breakfast Whopper at Burger King yet.
Mhm.
Surprisingly, like they've done breakfast sandwiches / burgers, but nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the website, it's basically like kind of like AI backed a little bit. So like you type in, you know, like that's an AI generated Whopper burger essentially. Like you
Okay.
type the ingredients
Mm-hmm.
and it like will show up on the burger AI generated. Like
Okay.
sometimes it's okay, sometimes the results may vary, but it does a pretty good job, and it creates an AI video like commercial for that burger
Nice.
when you're done. And so that's the burger picture of it that I made, and that's the video that I told it to make for me. And if I had put my name, submitted my like Formz name or whatever on the burger, it would have had like Formz in the video and said Formz and everything. Like
Oh shit.
it's actually pretty cool. I don't know how much longer the contest is for, but yeah, that's what that was.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's another AI kind of topic thing that was last week that I didn't, have the time to bring up. But I mean, AI can do some pretty cool shit.
Can I mean
When
as a tool? Why not? Having an AI that can put together a burger using your own like.
Play that video back again, because I feel like with context.
Yeah, it does.
Because I thought
make a little bit
something
of a
was
difference.
going on, but I couldn't quite tell. Like, it sort of looks like somebody's YouTube fan video for Burger King.
Right. Yeah. It has that feel to it. Like you can very much tell that it's meant to be like insert whatever needs to be. Like it's definitely like
it's
a
just
modular thing.
This object replaced with
That makes a lot more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I can see that being a burger.
I was like, what's one topping that could be put on there that like not many other places do, but would probably be banging? And it was the hash brown.
Hash brown is
that probably tastes really good.
I can't think of too many places that've tried it. All right, that's interesting as shit. I did not know this was you creation. I thought you had just put like a fucking weird ass burger in our chat.
No, there was a reason for that. It's one of the things to talk about. But
all right, fair enough. Speaking of other topics, it's crazy we didn't get to this last week because it is actually a pretty big thing. But you and your fiance watched the Avatar show.
Yes, the live action Netflix Avatar show. Based off of the animated Nickelodeon series that so many people know and love and cherish, as you know, they've watched it in their childhood. I watched a little bit of Avatar in my childhood, not too much, until I binged it a few years back, like all of it, and it is an amazing show. The animated series was, and everybody was worried, of course, after hearing Netflix was going to be doing a live action back in this was announced like in 2019 or something, a while ago. The Netflix announced that they were, I feel like it was a while ago when they announced that they were doing this.
Yeah, I think it was around the time that the creators of the original Avatar announced that they were starting their own media company around it.
But everybody was worried because everybody knows about the live action Avatar movie that was made almost a decade ago that we all don't remember and choose not to remember.
Just didn't happen.
It didn't happen because it was terrible. And nobody wanted a repeat of that movie that we don't remember. But this live action is not bad. It's actually not bad. It's not the greatest thing, but it's definitely not bad. I enjoyed it. My fiance enjoyed it until like the last episode. Really, the last episode's kind of weird because you could tell that they were trying to rush stuff. But overall, they did a really good job trying to. I'm choosing my words wisely here because there are some things that they didn't do as good, but they did a good job trying to summarize a lot of events in these like 8 or so episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it went pretty quick, but they kind of had to with what this was.
So this isn't like a beat for beat, episode for episode.
No.
How many episodes do they have per book right now?
So this is 8 episodes right now, and this
is it
does
just
cover
covering book 1.
This does cover the whole entirety of that first book.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of, and even the creators said this before it dropped, that there are a lot of like side quests that Aang and the troop go on in the animated series that they just cannot do in this live action remake, and it makes sense. They condensed, I think, some of the more lengthy parts of like the side quests to kind of get us through it. But again, I think they did a pretty good job condensing and trying to tell this story. The casting was pretty spot on. And I think a lot of the people who are up in arms about some of the casting around these young characters probably, should think about it for a minute, because while the animated series may have a certain style that makes it look like these characters are older than they are,
They're fucking children.
these characters are children.
Like, there are children.
Yes. So, like, I know, like, Azula and her friends,
Are like 16, aren't they?
I think they're even younger than that.
I thought Zuko was 15. And Azula,
I think Zuko's like 15 or 16, and Azula is younger than him.
Is Azula his younger sister?
Yeah. Yeah, we could Google that real quick,
Go
actually.
for it.
But, like, she looks like a child in this live action series, and I think a lot of people got triggered by that because everybody from the animated series is like,
Oh, their fire dominatrix mommy?
yes.
Yeah.
In the last Airbender 14, the Promised Trilogy 15-16, the
Mhm.
Search Trilogy 16-17,
What are you looking at?
Azula's age.
Oh,
So she was 14 in the last Airbender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she is Zuko's younger sister. I thought she was the oldest.
well, I
Older
did too.
siblings for
Until I
longest.
looked it up because I was curious. I was like, she looks really young in this live action. How old was she? And it's like, oh, I
No,
guess
she
that
was
makes
just
sense.
Extra psychotic. Okay.
Yep. And in the
Um,
animated series, of course, you can get a little bit, stylistic with the style, obviously.
Right.
So, they made them feel or look a little bit more mature than they
Yeah, no, they
actually
are.
were.
They are just kids. Like,
Yeah.
Aang and Toph are both 12. Fucking
Yeah.
Katara is is she 14? She is 14, right? I think she's 2 years older than Aang. And
I think
then
she is a little older. Well,
I mean, Aang's
Aang's
100.
I was gonna say Aang's the oldest.
Yes,
But
technically.
technically.
If you truly need me to roll my eyes tonight, I'll give you that.
Aang
That's
should
why
be
I'm here.
arrested
I know.
technically.
That's the whole reason for existing.
On paper, Aang needs to be arrested, but
Yeah, no, like they are a fucking group of children, which makes the whole situation even that much more horrifying. Because like at least like when you get to Korra, at least Korra's like 17, if not older. Korra might be 19. I can't remember.
and no, definitely older than most of all the cast of the first Avatar for sure.
Right.
But no, like, I mean, so, like, again, this was a cool, like, kind of Easter egg here. The person who voices the Cabbage
Oh yeah.
Man in the animated series is the actual Cabbage person
Oh,
in the live action. So that was fun to see him.
That's fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then the guy who plays this general apparently thought that he was being auditioned for the other Avatar series.
the James Cameron Avatar series.
Yeah. He's like, I thought I was gonna be blue, but
I wonder what that raises two questions actually. A, I wonder how this got explained for you to think you were auditioning for the James Cameron Avatar movie, and two, what was that auditioning process if it just worked out fine in the end, no matter
I
what?
wonder at what
Right.
point you thought it was, because I mean, your agent tells you you're advertising, you're
For
gonna-
Avatar.
If you have an audition for Avatar, and they give you a script where you're going to be a general,
Okay, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, if all you know is that you're supposed to be a general in the Avatar movie, and you don't know which, or you, I guess, roll the dice and pick the wrong Avatar. As long as you're a general, same deal.
I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me if an older person just wasn't aware of Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Fair.
True.
Like,
That is true.
It's very
Actually,
fair.
yeah. My question is, what did that audition script look like? Because, like, was there anything said in that maybe it would have made it?
My question:
Obvious?
what character is this? Is it just a general, or is there a specific general?
Ooh, I forget the name.
Because for a second I
But-
thought this was Zuko's dad.
No,
just because like I'm looking at a specific character in a picture right now. I was like, oh, it must be. But if it's just a general,
Well, he's one of the kind of like more focused generals in the animated series too. I keep forgetting the
Mhm.
name specifically. but he's one of the main antagonists for sure of this first book. But no, they do a great job, honestly.
Nice.
It maybe took me a minute to get used to how young the characters were, just because, obviously I'm used to the animated series not feeling as like that, really.
Right.
Aang always felt like the only like kid in the animated series, but like all of these people, all the cast are technically kids now.
Right.
So it was just
Sokka
weird.
looks appropriate.
Oh yeah.
Not that we have a visual of him up right now, but
yeah. But again, I think they did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
There were, again, some pacing things, some story changes. I'm not even going to say minor, because there are some things where it's like, okay, this didn't happen, so how is this going to play out in book 2 when Aang's supposed to know how to do X, Y, Z, or when he, has an encounter with this, spirit or this, character that didn't happen here. And specifically, there's this one particular scene where the whole secret tunnel thing, it's about this tunnel is basically the tunnel of like two lovers, and in the animated series, Aang and Katara essentially go in there, but in this, it's not Aang, because Aang is doing something else somewhere, but it's Katara and Sokka who kind of go into this tunnel, and that's weird.
Okay. That's a weird implication.
It's a weird switch up. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. They could have done something different there. It was giving weirdness to me and everybody else who watched the show. But
right, that's fair.
I tell you what, we do things a little differently out here in the country.
Right.
Speaking of secret tunnel, I saw this post of I guess some people went to an Avatar live symphony orchestra thing. And at the end of the thing, it wasn't clear to me was it just at the end of, like, was it like the last part of the set, or did they literally just pull this up after they had technically released everybody, and for anyone who decided to stay, they started doing this? But they do a rendition with the audience of Secret Tunnel.
We love it.
It was pretty fantastic. I was like, that would make, if I went to that live symphony, that would have made my day.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty great.
The fact, and that was one thing that they said too with this live action, is like there were certain things that, like, I don't think the secret tunnel scene actually happens until like book 2, but they wanted to add it in book 1, so they changed some story stuff around to try to make sense a little bit. But it was fun to see,
right?
Because, even if, who knows if Netflix renews this for a season 2. I mean, they probably will.
So,
but like, you never know. So they were just like, hey, let's just throw it in the first book to have, for the moment for the audience, and that was fun. That was fun, and they do that quite a bit actually with quite a few different scenes. But I gotta say, I think episode 3. I think they did that episode really, really well, as far as like, I mean, that's the same episode that the tunnel thing happens, but like everything else, I think was done very well. They portrayed like the characters very well, the stuff that happens sequentially very well, the fun stuff that happens. I don't know, around that time in the animated series, I don't know. After that 3rd episode, I was like, okay, they did their thing with this. Stamp of approval. They did good. And then the last episode kind of chipped that down a little bit. But
dang.
But hey, they did all right. They did good. Definitely go see it if you're on the fence about it, or you're worried that it's going to ruin Avatar or whatever.
By go see, he means pull up your Netflix.
Pull up Netflix and give it a watch.
Go to your parents' house.
Yeah, steal one of your friends' Netflix accounts. I don't know. Do what you have to do. It's good. You won't be as disappointed as you think you will. I promise you.
Okay, fair enough. I know the most annoying part about this has been the fucking YouTube cycle of all the reviewers coming out with using like the most annoyingly clickbaity. If I didn't already know the perception, it is the most clickbaity of like faux outrage just for the video to start and go, yeah, it's pretty all right.
Right.
And that was every opinion ever. And I was like, I'm so glad I knew that going in, because otherwise I would have clicked one of those videos and been immediately annoyed.
Mhm.
Most of the feedback I've seen about it has been generally positive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For the most part, like, it's not going to revolutionize the fucking Avatar series or anything, but it's pretty good.
I didn't even know there were people that were pissed about Azula's casting, because most of the, at least when the actress was first announced, people seemed very excited about it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the things where it's like, at first glance, after people saw who was casted as who, it was like, interesting choice. Like Iroh, everybody was like on board with Iroh. They're like, yes, that's Iroh. Zuko, everybody was like, yes, that's Zuko. Aang, everybody was like, that's a good Aang. That'll work.
That works as an Aang.
Katara was kind of dunked on a little bit. Sokka, everybody was like, yep, that's Sokka. Yep, that looks like Sokka. But like, again, even then, I think it was cracked down upon then, where it's like, hey, these are kids. Like,
Children.
they're going to cast kids.
Just because you had a crush on them when you were in high school does not mean we have to age them up along with you, millennial audience.
Right.
Like,
Yes, it does.
You also have to wonder how long they'll be shooting this and how old they'll be by the end.
right?
Yep. I think that was a meme too that I saw today where it was like book one that showed an image of like Aang and Sokka and Katara in one scene or whatever, the live action. And then book two, which is like, you know, years from now, it's like Aang is just like long-legged, like long-bodied,
Just fucking
in the same pose, in the same scene, just like he's like the only one that's just like gigantic or something because of a growth spurt
just a
that he
fucking
might
growth
have.
spurt.
That
at
would
the
be so
wrong
funny.
moment. I wonder if that's ever happened to an actor.
Well, I think that was one of the big problems, I think, with Stranger Things.
They just started
They-
fucking growth spurting out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
they just started
Oh my God.
growing, and they were like, "Oh crap, we have to make some changes or shoot shit now, and you know, do some kind of time skip for the next
Right.
season in order for this to make sense."
Make any kind of sense.
Yeah.
Our actors
I know.
are getting along.
That's straight up why in Amazing World of Gumball, like Gumball's voice change is literally because the actor was going through fucking puberty and was having a
Interesting.
ton of voice cracking.
Do you? I remember that. Do you guys remember that episode? That episode was great.
The
Gumball
one episode
Yeah,
of
where they
I love
swapped
it.
voice
I fucking
actors?
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
It was so good.
yeah.
One of the best ways to handle. I guess we're just immortal characters
I
that
guess
never
we're just
age.
immortally. Oh man. I had something else I was gonna say, but I can't remember what it is now.
Mm.
Sorry.
Oh, you good? You good?
Oh wait, no, it was a secret tunnel thing. I think I got that out the way.
I never get used to the new Gumball voice actors.
I heard what he said. I thought you were about to respond to it. Okay. You're not gonna get used to it.
I didn't quite. I did it. I thought I preferred the originals.
Fair enough.
So even though the show was still good, I was like,
I opposite opinion. I actually really like the new voice actors and kind of the new kind of characterization of the characters after the voice actor changes.
Were we talking Gumball or
Gumball.
Flapjack?
Gumball,
I think I
Gumball.
said Flapjack earlier, and I meant to say Gumball.
If you did, I did not register it at all.
Yeah, no, like Gumball was an interesting show to kind of see the development of. Like, if you see like the first like episode designs of the characters, and you
Mhm.
see like what they ended up with towards the end,
Yeah,
it's actually very different. Like,
incredibly different.
the changes were so slight throughout that you
Mhm.
really didn't notice.
Yeah, it is still one of my favorite shows. Still one of like the coolest pieces of just media to come out of Cartoon Network in a while. The
Mhm.
constant like the just amalgamation of art styles into one
Oh,
show
it's
was
so
so
good.
good.
How self-aware it was too.
Also, it was super self-aware in a way that like it was fucking sick.
very funny.
Really funny.
I think that SpongeBob was Nickelodeon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if it feels like a spiritual successor to the SpongeBob to me in a way, in that like it's enjoyable, it's appealing to kids. There are jokes that like you can still enjoy if you're older. It's innovative in its own right, and it still holds up for the most part. Now I never really watched SpongeBob, so if you take umbrage with that, I totally understand. But
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, SpongeBob, especially like earlier seasons, I don't know what it's been like in the last few years. Like I'll say, like the last decade or so, of like whether or not those episodes are still holding up, especially after it was supposed to end and then it didn't, or it ended and then it came back. I don't know what any of that has been like. I definitely don't know what the Patrick show has been like, because that's a thing that happened.
Wait, what?
Forgot about that.
Yeah, Patrick got his own show, and that's all I know about that. Patrick Star has a show in the vein of every fucking cartoon ever. Like,
I want it to be a talk show.
that would have been sick. I feel like that would have been pretty
better,
great
honestly.
if it was more of an interview show.
Yeah.
But it's very much a Cleveland show to Family Guy type, just spin off from the other thing. Also, the idea that Patrick was enjoyable enough as a character to have a whole show dedicated to just him and his shenanigans and shit.
It's acceptable.
Is that the whole fucking episode?
I think so.
Oh my god. But yeah. So yeah, that's a thing. And I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't have any high hopes for it, but I'm never gonna watch it, so who knows?
Has it been out? Because I feel like I remember hearing that and seeing something on that. Like
As far as I know, it is. I don't know.
That came out 3 years ago that I just clicked on.
Wow.
Jesus.
I think that one's probably very specifically directed towards the children.
It might be.
I mean, SpongeBob wasn't supposed to be a children's show in the first place.
Allegedly. I never got around to looking into that to make sure or not.
At least like the original pitch wasn't.
It was supposed to be like
at children per se.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an MTV show. I just did that episode the other day. It was supposed to be an MTV show, but MTV didn't want it, so it got reworked. Butch Hartman reworked it into being a Nickelodeon show or some stupid shit.
Was it Butch?
Was it not Butch Hartman? No, Butch Hartman is Fairly Odd Parents. Steven Hillenburg.
Yeah. So I was like, I know Butch did Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair
Not
enough.
Butch Hartman. Steven Hillenburg. Yeah, he apparently reworked the show from an adult, edgy kind of style to more of a children's show.
Disney Channel was so bad.
And then there was.
I can't speak on Disney Channel because like Disney Channel was fucking fantastic when I was a kid.
With like the real actors doing the shows, or
Yeah,
were
what
you
was it?
talking
Primarily
about?
live action.
There's-
Like Sweet Life on Deck, the original. Or sorry, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
I was gonna say you jumped to the second series.
Well, that's because that's what it was on when we had
Fair
cable
enough.
basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sweet Life on Deck sucked.
What were we just talking about this? I feel like I was just talking about this.
We
with
talked
somebody.
about, we touched on it, I think, either last episode or like a season ago. But
No,
yeah.
like today. I was just talking about this with somebody.
It wasn't me. I was asleep.
It was at work.
You were
literally.
just talking about Sweet Life.
Yes, we talked about it briefly today, and we were just saying I almost had a fight with one of my coworkers because they were like, "Sweet Life on Deck was like the best." I was like,
Huh?
"No."
I never watched. I couldn't
Mid.
say yay or nay. I
Sweet
didn't even.
Life on Deck. Look, I didn't even watch the first series at all, but I could tell that it was coasting off of the success of the first series.
Yes,
Yes.
And
very
then
much.
it
so.
literally just took the same characters in like nothing situations with nothing plots, and you only watched it because you liked the first series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was
I say yeah, like I watched it. I don't fucking
I mean, you can tell
like I'm sure.
even by just listening to what
Right.
happened there. It's like, yeah.
what was the one with Teddy called? Fuck, what was it?
Ooh,
That one was good for a little while, but it ended pretty early.
Is this another Disney show?
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Teddy as the main character.
Charlie something.
Yeah.
Good Luck Charlie.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Good Luck Charlie was pretty good for a while, and then it got canceled, I think. And then there was the one that centered on Austin Moon.
I don't know about that one.
It wasn't very good.
I probably heard about it.
It was on the beach. This is the first time I heard about falafel.
Oh, Allie and
Austin and Alley.
yeah, yep.
God, y'all are. I didn't know most of these were even shows. I'll be honest with you.
It's a good reason for it.
Do you know the one show though that it was a spin-off of another show? That's So Raven, right?
Oh, Corey in the
But
fucking
Corey in
house.
the house. Corey in the house. It's a party every week, baby. I'm your man.
Everyone's
That-
favorite anime.
Everyone's favorite anime.
That was a good show, and then it got canceled because of all the shit that happened with
Was
the
that when
actor.
Raven Simone was going through some bullshit, or did someone else go through some bullshit, or did
the actor of
Like-
Corey went through some.
what did he go through?
Ooh, I watched a couple YouTube videos on it.
I've
and-
never heard about because like I know Raven went kind of crazy for a while.
I don't know what
then
she did.
The dude who just weird like political stances and shit.
Mm,
And then the dude who plays the male friend of the trio, and That's a Raven.
yeah.
He's been like just saying some off the wall crazy shit, but like in like
Yeah.
the crazy kind of way, the drug kind of way.
Yep.
And we're not certain if he is just fucking around with people, trolling, or like there's a hidden meaning to all of that. But I've never.
Kyle Massey, I think that's his name.
I'm gonna say sure.
Yeah, it is. I was just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. See, now I'm trying to remember. I think he got caught up in some kind of scandal.
Oh, Kyle Massey.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other dude, but yeah, no, Kyle Massey. What the fuck happened with him?
He got caught up in a couple things, and I think he got
When was Corey in the House canceled?
when?
He's my age. Holy shit.
Yeah, imagine that.
Wow. Kyle Massey disputes sexual misconduct with a minor charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm reading that right now.
All right, Wikipedia, where we at? The music, of course, he was in music. You can't be a Disney star and not be in some kind of music.
Right. Yeah, he was apparently in the middle of some kind of fight with his brother and some other music rapper dude. Yeah, Lil
And
Twist.
In March 2015, rapper Lil Twist was arrested and charged with several crimes after he and 4 others assaulted Massey and his brother Christopher. On December 2016, Twist pleaded no contest to 6 charges and received a 1-year jail sentence. On June 2021, Massey was charged in King County, Washington on 1 count of immoral communication with a minor where he allegedly sent nude photos to a 13-year-old girl. The criminal charges came from a 2019 lawsuit whose allegations Massey denied, saying that the lawsuit was an extortion attempt and that in early 2019, the attorneys representing the minor had demanded $1.5 million, threatening to go public with the allegation if he did not comply. The lawsuit also stated that Massey had known the accuser since she was 4 years old. The truth about that relationship, about my relationship with that mother, is that the mother had an inappropriate sexual relationship with me since I was a kid when I was 15, Massey said, adding that the woman did a multitude of different things, including bringing him to hotel rooms and giving him alcohol. This is one of the hardest moments in my life because the person that molested, raped, took advantage of me when I was a child is now painting me as the predator, Massey told Buckmeyer, and it's just like mind-blowing. Massey's lawyer provided additional details saying that Massey had met the mother in California in 2007, 2 years before the mother says they met when Massey was 15. I'm not going to read the rest of it. I might later, but that is...
Whatever's going on there is...
I wouldn't want to be a part of it. I can tell you that much.
Right. And it seems like a lot of this stuff is happening maybe after Cory in the House got canceled or something. But
oh, most definitely.
Even then,
2021.
There was probably like stuff that, you know, the higher ups at Disney or whatever heard rumors about or whatever, maybe just decided to drop Kyle because it maybe was just the rumors even were just like not, you know, not good. But apparently there's just, you know, a lot of shady shit in Disney back in the day.
The show was canceled due to the writer's strike.
Oh,
Cory in the House?
The show was canceled due to the 2007-08 writers.
Oh,
2007.
okay. I forgot
okay.
Yeah, because I was going to say this was 2007, 2008. Almost 2 years runtime. Yeah, that makes sense.
There weren't a lot of episodes at all, but like,
hey, Hollywood, pay your fucking writers.
it was good. It was a good show.
Why would they do that when they have ChatBGP?
Chat BTB.
You tried to say it.
No, I didn't try to say it. I tried to make some bullshit up.
I'm sure. Yeah. Disney was such a... I had fell off so hard when it came to Disney by the time like any of that shit came around. I think I was never like a big Disney fan growing up anyway, just because they were much more like live action based. And like tended to cater more to live action shows. Like I remember Disney mostly from like my like preschool days when like fucking PB&J Otter and shit, like those kind of like fucking preschool kid shows. That was the most of the time I watched like Disney. Now I will say in like modern times, fucking Mickey's House of Mouse was fucking dope.
Yep.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
And Phineas and Ferb, even though I didn't really watch Phineas and Ferb, I learned about Phineas and Ferb, and I think I really would have liked that show if I got a chance to watch it.
Yep. I binged.
Phineas and Ferb was great.
I don't know if I binged the whole series, but I binged most of that series also a few years ago. And yeah, it holds up still today. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Like, but that's pretty much the extent. So like all the shit, I mean, I know Cory in the House, but never fucking watched it. I know Sweet Life on Deck, never fucking watched it. The other shit y'all named,
never heard of.
Never fucking heard of them.
Yeah. It was a certain period of time.
Right.
I don't think many of those shows would hold up
Right.
much or as well.
What the hell is that?
Oh, we'll talk about this in a
we'll
second.
yeah.
There's a couple other things I want to get to before we get to that, as well as take a break. So, firstly, what is this?
So I saw this I was randomly browsing Facebook and this popped up and I was like, wait a minute.
Is this like actually
I think so.
2012 or?
Yeah. It said our baby Omega Mart is all grown up now. So this is what they had back in 2012.
That's sick.
Of Omega Mart. And
So for anyone who doesn't know, we keep saying Omega Mart. Technically speaking, the specific art installation is Omega Mart. There is a I don't even know what you would call it, an art company, or whatever, called Meow Wolf, and they have a few locations at least around the U.S. I don't know if they have any more outside of the U.S., but they have a bunch of like interactive art locations that is one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life. They are so the one in particular that we know of that we've been to is the one called Omega Mart. That's in Las Vegas at Area 15. And as an experience, you literally pay to get in. And once you're in, the first thing you walk into is a supermarket. And you walk in, it is a fully explorable supermarket, and like stocked shelves, produce section, deli meat section.
You can purchase most of the products, I think.
You can purchase most of the products, yeah.
at a glance,
it looks normal. It's just like like take any like 1990s, 1980s like after school special and like pluck the supermarket out of there.
It feels like walking into a family fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit. Like a much more like television-fied family
Yeah.
fair, I would say.
Yeah.
Like very bright, very vibrant colors and just the most picturesque thing you can walk into. And then you look closer at everything around you. And all of a sudden,
It's wrong.
it's wrong. Like it's just wrong.
Do you want a low detail swan floaty?
Right?
Yeah.
Do you want lemons, but they're like the screaming heads of children?
Yeah.
Do you want Blitz? It's supposed to be like Tide, but it's a plush giraffe-shaped body with a spray head attached to it.
Right?
Do you want like to go to the deli and order some meats, but instead of meat, you're ordering like intestines
Yeah.
from monsters when you look close?
It is like the weird, like as you look up close to it, I'm hoping I can find pictures of it. I don't remember if I got pictures of it. Okay, firstly, to disclose this, I'm just gonna get this out the way right now. The only person that was sober on this trip was this guy.
Y'all.
We all popped an edible on the way in.
I have never felt more like a dad trying to wrangle some kids together than that day.
Oh my God. So we got to explore the supermarket like decently sober. And then there are two ways to do this. And one of them is a lot more straightforward. The other is a lot cooler once you know what's happening. Pun intended, actually. So from the
It took me a minute.
right from the supermarket, you can either there's like this weird section that is like a doghouse or that kind of leads. That's
There's
like
a couple different ways actually.
there is actually a couple different ways.
Mhm.
There's three I can think of immediately, and then one that I think works but wasn't really a part of the art installation, is kind of periphery to it. But either way, there's like this little doghouse you can kind of crawl into that looks like it's leading into like a garden area. And you walk through that and you just open up to this whole fucking thing of like you're just like in like this weird kind of like I said, it's organic. It's kind of like a facsimile of a garden, but there's also like like the room itself is like really dark and almost everything's lit up more by like projection lights than it is like any actual like ambient lights. And it looks really cool. Everything about it is really cool. Like the little river thing you can walk over, it looks really nice. The rock wall. There's like a weird like a little hobbit hole you can crawl into. But back in the supermarket, as you're walking along the frozen section, like the frozen item section, from we'll say like the middle of the store looking down, it looks just like a normal like row of shelves. If you walk to the end of it and turn around, all of a sudden you see an opening in like the shelf that you can like, it just like curves off in like this kind of infinity style, and it gets you back to another part of the lab. Probably to me, one of the coolest ways to get into the back room, the back room. And once you're like in the, like, not to give away the whole exhibit or anything, but once you're back there, there's multiple levels to this thing. There's other secret passages you can go in and out of. There's a lot of really trippy art exhibits. There's these really cool rooms with their own different themes and interactive stuff to mess around with. There is a heavy fucking epilepsy warning that needs to go along with this thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, lots of flashing.
Lots of flashing lights. One of the rooms just straight up, if you have epilepsy, you do not go in.
One of the most
feel
fun
like
rooms though.
It was one of the most fun rooms. I do feel like they could have did a better job of. I don't even remember if there was an epilepsy warning. I'm sure there was, but I think they could have did a better job of advertising that, because it would suck to be in there and all of a sudden be in the middle of it.
Mhm.
But if you don't have epilepsy, it's a really cool room. It's a really fun room. And yeah, just a bunch of other trippy shit. There's like an overarching story going on involving like this supermarket and a weird cult and possibly aliens or like eldritch horrors and science
something called the source,
Something
which
called
is
the
where like they're getting the stuff from.
Right.
It's not aliens, it's just the beings that come from the source.
No.
Like it's so trippy, and you almost, to get the full picture of what the fuck is happening,
Mm-hmm.
you almost have to either be there for like
A
hours,
long time.
or you need to come back after you've like been hit with the realization of what this exhibit is.
Right.
For me, like they were saying, I was the sober one, but I still felt like I was high the whole time. That's how crazy and cool this exhibit is.
And that's like, there's so many moments of like, you'll have like, there was a point where we had went in and we went through the doghouse first. We went to the garden area first and then did a bunch of shit that way. And eventually we ended up coming back down. Eventually we got back to the main supermarket through that freezer section. And at that point, 100%, the edibles were kicking in. But we got back up and I was like, I forgot there was a supermarket here. Like I
Really?
forgot this exist. We were in a different location for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like, it's so jarring in the best kind of way.
Well, and my favorite thing about it is there's shit like there's the video at the beginning that's playing where it looks like it's supposed to be an ad for the supermarket with like the guy in it with the CEO.
The one over the little proto section?
Yeah, and you first you start watching it and you're like, this doesn't make any fucking sense, right? Like it looks like it's weird, but weird for weird's sake. And then you go into the back, and the more you investigate, the more it starts to make sense,
Yeah.
and you realize what's actually going on in that situation, and you're like, yeah.
It really depends on how deep you want to get into it. Like you could go in there and just look at all the wacky stuff and experience it that way and just be like, huh, this is fun. This is weird. This is cool. Okay, I'm good. Or you can go in there with a magnifying glass.
And like start poking at
I like
everything.
magnifying glasses.
We ended up doing that actually. I would say
We didn't have enough time.
we did not have enough time. We got in there like an hour before they closed and tried to go through some shit. We just didn't have the time. Like you need time to go through that shit. Luckily, once you pay to get in, you're in there until you decide to leave. It's like a museum type shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just a trippy art museum. I think that's the best way to call it. It's like a children's museum, but for adults.
Yeah, well, it's trippy. Yes, that is actually a great way to put it. It's like a children's museum, but for adults. And it's got ARG elements.
Yeah, and some ARG, yeah. So that was Omega Mart. Once again, that's in Vegas. If you ever go to Vegas, anybody listening to this, if you go to Vegas and you've never been to that, go to area, like make that at least the one thing you do while in Vegas.
Yes.
It is so fun. Clearly not sponsored by Omega Mart. I fucking would love if we were.
That would be interesting.
That would be amazing. But sorry, Meow Wolf. But that's just how much like we enjoy. Like of the trip we took to Vegas a couple years ago, that still holds down as like what the highlight of that trip for me. And I remember it even while after having been high for most of it. But so that was Omega Mart. There are other installations that Meow Wolf has stationed around. Once again, I don't know if they have anything outside of America, but they have a few things around America. I know they have something in Denver, Colorado, Santa Ana, California,
I'm looking up right now.
Santa Fe. I think they just opened one up in Phoenix and another one in Houston. I think they got one in New York. And then with the one in Vegas, I think they have 6. They might have more. I can't remember. Fluff will get us a number, but there's a few of them that we like as a group want to go hit at some point. Just like take weekend trips and just go to these ones.
Yeah. You know what I realized? We're going to Denver.
When?
Aren't we, or is that Ohio?
You're thinking Ohio. You're thinking Dayton, Ohio.
No.
Yeah, you are. Denver, Colorado is way over on the other side of the states.
My geography is not good.
Your
people.
geography is not
It's
great.
terrible.
You're thinking he's talking about. So the total solar eclipse is coming up for us. It is from the day we're recording this, it'll be about a month away. The belt you're thinking of is Dayton, Ohio, which is just a straight drive south of Michigan. Colorado is over near the not the west coast, but it's near heading towards the west coast. It's in like the mountain time zone. It's over there. Not who you're thinking of.
Dang.
There's been like with my job, there was a couple opportunities, or at least talks of like possibly being over in Denver for a bit. And I was like, if y'all ever send me over there, I'd love it. One of the VP, he was telling me his son lives in Denver, Colorado, and goes to that Meow Wolf every once in a while.
Really?
And just goes there because it's fun.
Okay, so I think there are 4 permanent. Because if you look at their projects, they actually organize them by time.
Okay.
Because they have temporary installations that they do. Where they collaborate with artists. But they have one in Denver, one in Santa Fe, one in Las Vegas, and one in Houston.
Oh, okay.
They actually, I think they opened one in 2023, just last year.
Yeah.
In I think Denver. Let me go back.
Because I'm fairly certain the Denver one was already a thing when we went to Vegas a couple years ago. I think the Phoenix one is the one, if that was the one that even opened up.
The real Unreal. Let's see, is what they opened. Where is it? It's in. Give a little kiss this.
Not know you can bruise your palms. This bad.
Did you fall?
Did you masturbate too much?
No, I rotated my tires, and it's just using the.
It's in Grapevine, Texas.
Grapevine. Okay. You
Sorry.
were you just squeezing too hard?
Just the tire iron, like putting that much pressure on it to loosen the bolt.
You have learned something I've never known about. I've never had that happen before. Maybe, yeah.
You're too strong for your palms.
Yeah.
Your palms can't handle you.
Also, the one in Houston is still coming. It's not installed yet.
Oh, okay. That's the new one.
What's the new one?
So Houston is a new one that is coming.
Oh.
It has not been opened yet. The one in Texas that I was thinking of is in Grapevine.
Okay.
So yeah, Santa Fe, Denver, Grapevine, Vegas, and soon to be Houston are the 5 current locations.
Those are probably going to be dope.
They're probably going to be dope. I want to hit that Denver one first. I don't know why. That's just the one I've been wanting to go to. And I want to hit the rest of them. But yeah, no. Meow Wolf, fucking fantastic experience. It is crazy to see what they looked like in 2012 compared to what they got now.
Right.
Because that boomed. It was great, though.
It almost, like, it seems like it was, like, some kind of college capstone type deal, right? I don't know if it was, but, like, that's, like, the progression almost. Like, a college, like, final project.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like, this is the pitch. This is our team. It's a small team of like 3 or 4 people. We put together. We managed to, rent out this, hole in the wall space in this strip mall, and we just went to town, creating this fake, supermarket.
Right.
At that time, it probably wasn't a supermarket. It was just a little. What do you call that? Just market.
Market.
Convenience store.
Convenience store.
Something
Yeah,
of the sort.
that's what it looks like. And then it just grew into a super.
What do they call those?
Grown to.
I feel like it's kind of like escape room budget. Kinda.
Yeah. That's actually another good way to describe it. It's like children's museum for adults mixed with escape room and ARGs.
Sort of, yeah.
Like
It's compared to any other types of experiences I've had, it is unique.
Actually, I feel like it would be sick to have a Meow Wolf that dipped a lot heavier into escape rooms. I feel like that would be a really fun experience.
Like more puzzle based, like harder to get to areas than just going through a door that's sort of hidden.
Yeah.
Like if Meow Wolf just did escape rooms.
If Meow Wolf just did it straight up in escape rooms, that would be fucking sick. And I can understand why that would be hard, because you have to be able to reset that in between. You then now have to make it so that like specific group time, slide it off. And like it would be a lot more work, but man, I would love something like that.
We could make something like that.
We could make something like that. We just need capital.
We have
Cha-ching.
capital letters.
We do.
We could move to Lansing.
How long has this recording been going?
53 minutes.
All right, we're gonna take a break here. So, in the world of shit only Ruben really cares about in this group, Pokemon announced the next Pokemon game. It's called Pokemon Legends ZA.
Is this their response to Palworld?
Zap loop zap.
Okay,
Does it have guns?
so this actually is a part of what I want to talk about because the announcement itself is whatever. Like, people knew that this was going to come. It is a sequel to Pokemon Legends Arceus that came out 3-ish years ago, I think.
I can't believe they're releasing a scat themed Pokemon.
What?
Scat themed Pokemon.
Yeah, we're gonna stop right there.
Zap loop.
Oh,
Not like Dookie.
well, that's look. Do you blame me for thinking that's where you were going with this?
I do.
Oh, fuck you.
You're dirty mind.
Oh, shut up.
I do
Yeah.
wanna see it.
Okay, I'll just play the trailer for y'all.
Yeah.
Of course you don't open up in the fucking browser.
Oh, now it's playing twice.
It is playing twice, isn't it? You stop playing. The audio's unimportant. I guess it's important. Like, so this one is going to be based on. So the first Pokemon Legends Arceus game was, they took the 4th gen game, or at least the region, and then like jumped it like 400 years in the past. So like Edo period. I think it's also called the expansion period of Japan. And you got to play in literally like ancient Japan. And like the mechanics were super cool because it kind of changed up some parts of the formula. So instead of like JRPG, it was an action RPG, and you were like, so like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet got, well, it's technically okay. I'm gonna be all over the fucking place with this. The Pokemon existed within the world with you, and you existed with them. They will attack your player, and all the battles took place essentially in real time. And so it was a really fun formula. And people, we expected them to do this again. I want to say they pretty much confirmed it not long after it dropped that they were going to do this formula again. And now this is basically the sequel to that. There's not a lot known about it. It was revealed about 2 weeks ago during, or about a week ago during the Pokemon Day Presents showcase.
What is he doing to that?
Dirty stuff. And this one is going to be based around the 6th gen game region. And the big question right now is whether or not it's going to be happening in the past or the future. There's been a lot of speculation going on lately about what's going to be happening with that. Speaking of things that spawn thumbnails that I fucking hate, this shit was the most annoying shit to me. This whole like, the very clear like, what? What's going on? When no one had that reaction. Looking at this thing, no one has that reaction. Everybody was like, yeah, this was going to happen. Okay, that looks kind of interesting. We'll see where this goes. It's the most like obvious like YouTube reaction thumbnail ever, and it's just annoying as shit.
This is why we love the etho thumbnails up in the corner.
This is
there,
why I
just
love
a
my
random
etho
fucking
thumbnails.
screenshot.
Right? But so that came out, and to me, that was an exciting announcement. It's going to be fun seeing where this goes and learning more about it. That's your Pokemon corner for the thing. Now,
So it's in the future, right?
we don't know. It could be the future, could be the past. I'm currently leaning to the theory of it's both.
It's in the future past?
Yes.
The past future?
Yes.
So like alternate timeline, like reimagined stuff?
I think it's more going to be. Now, once again, we know next to nothing about this, right?
I mean, they presented us with holographic Pokemon in a hollow-like construction of a city.
They did. It also was showing you the pre-construction of Lumio City, which is already a location that exists. So,
Oh, so you think it's going to be like
I think you're going to be zooping back and forth between the past and the future.
smart? You're brilliant. I would
also-
tell you that.
Also, like supported with. I mean, I did not come up with this idea. But it's also supported by the logo here. So the Z and the A.
Mhm.
The Z has like hexagonal like tech pattern, and the A is a leaf pattern. And also kind of leading credence to like, I mean, it's more like technology versus nature, but that can also sometimes be translated to like future versus past.
Mm-hmm.
And then as well, coming off of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which was literally themed around future and past,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's very far distant future and like ancient history past. It's a lot to remains to be seen.
Yeah.
The other part is this game's not coming out till next year, which is an interesting thing for Pokemon because one of the biggest complaints about the Pokemon franchise as of late is that it's basically been doing like yearly releases. And so if they're holding off till next year, depending on what part of next year they're holding off to, it could possibly mean that they're taking like the criticism of, hey, give your games a little more time.
Let them cook.
Or
You think they had a game for this year and then Palworld came out and they were like, let's polish
we'll
this?
get to that in a second. Or the other part is the anticipation for the Switch 2 or whatever the next iteration of Switch. It could be holding off to be either a cross-gen, either a cross-gen or a not flagship. What's the phrase?
Release title?
Yeah, there's another phrase for it, but a release title for a launch title for the Switch 2, which is a possibility. So that's the news about Legends ZA.
There are factors. There are speculation. Could you imagine releasing a game like that, and having the transition from past to the future just be a reference to your past game, but then your community comes up with this baller idea of zooping back and forth with the past to the future, and then being like,
shit, right? That is, I feel like a lot of games actually go through that, probably. Where because like all the red tape and the producers and the executive teams and the shareholders you have to get through, you have to kind of pick what is the safe option, and then everybody basically goes, but what if this super cool ass option? And all of a sudden it's like, fuck, we really could have thought of that. But we'll see. It all remains to be seen. Like we will see what comes on with that. The bigger discussion to have here, now that all three of you have brought it up. The idea that Palworld has made any kind of impact on how Pokemon releases anything or their development process, I understand why people think that. That's not what's going on here.
I'd say anything about Palworld for the record. I don't think Palworld's going to touch Pokemon.
That's
personal.
Palworld had its week of fame and it has fallen the fuck off immediately.
Oh yeah.
No shade to Palworld, regardless like of any of my feelings about it. It was a fine game. Most people will tell you it's a fine game. It garnered hype because of the conversation around it, and as a game has not really held up that well. Even if you want to say, oh, it's early access, it's an alpha. Yeah, so was Ark Survival and like 5 other fucking well-known franchise games that have never had an official release.
I did sort of get that it's like, it's not like revolutionary or anything.
It's not. It's just Ark Survival with Pokemon.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like that's about as deep as that goes. There was a whole Twitter thread earlier today. I
never really found Ark Survival to be interesting. It just didn't.
Ark Survival
do it for
had
me at all.
Ark Survival had dinosaurs, and that was the biggest draw to me. And then I still never got around to playing it.
Well, I think the other thing is I don't know if I'm the audience for Ark Survival. Ark Survival seems like a game that you play if you play shooters with your friends and you want something a little different.
I would actually describe it more as if you play Minecraft with your friends and you want something a little different.
I was also thinking that, but personally, I don't see.
Did Ark Survival have shooter mechanics?
No, but it was like a first person.
Yeah, it was first
So-
person. And I also kind of felt that vibe too about it, where it was like, okay, your first person shooter type deal, but it's survival instead of shooter.
Because
I don't
anytime you
know.
have survival mechanics, you have the freedom of construction. You're gonna draw an analogy or connection to Minecraft.
Right.
But I think that the at least when it came to the people that I saw playing it.
Okay, I can see where that comes from. I will say the people I saw playing it, the main people I watched play Ark Survival was Etho and the Minecraft game.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And also like to me, the defining trait of a shooter is the shooting. So without that, it was.
To be clear, I'm not classifying it as a shooter. I'm saying that the audience of people who are normally playing
as a shooter.
Yeah.
Because to me, I always got the vibe of Minecraft. But what if it was an Unreal? And it's basically that.
If that's what it was, it.
I wasn't sure if anybody would hear that.
What the fuck was that?
Did you queef?
Out of my mouth? Yeah.
What the hell was that?
That was like some of the drink going down my throat in a weird way. It was like an air bubble or something.
Okay.
It was a quiet burp.
Okay, I know exactly what it was.
He burped like a kitten.
The thing is, I didn't, because obviously I didn't see your mouth move at all. I thought that came from your fucking stomach.
No.
And I was like, what fucking cat did you swallow earlier? Like,
no.
Holy hell.
My stomach do be growling though a lot of times.
Yeah. I was like, that was the weirdest one I've ever heard yet.
I heard it over here. I was like,
But to get back to it, yeah, however you want to define Ark, basically Palworld was Ark, but with creature collection. And for what it did, it's like, so there was this whole Twitter thread that spawned from it that I thought I shared somewhere, and I guess I didn't. And it was a lot of people going like, see, Palworld had Pokemon sweating. Really? This is what we're doing? This is what we want to believe? This is how delusional we've become in 2024? Like, the idea, like, okay, anything you want to say about Pokemon, and it's well-deserved criticisms. Do not get me wrong. I think a lot of the criticisms leveled at Pokemon are well-deserved, but we're still talking the most profitable transmedia company on the face of the fucking planet.
The merchandise,
right?
Yeah.
Like,
like saying that J.K. Rowling should take lessons from books that are popular right now, but low-key exist in the Harry Potter universe.
Right? I'm trying to think of even like a good allegory, right? Of, honestly, there's something in there, right? It'd be like if an indie movie company made a mildly successful superhero movie, and then people were like, MCU should take a lesson from this one. Right. And then any like move that MCU makes after that, everybody was like, oh, do you think they finally, like, did someone finally? No, they didn't. It would have had to have such a significant, because like from the outside it seems like maybe that could happen, but if you look at it from the inside of the company, the people that would have to take notice, shift bureaucracy, the changes that would have to happen for the recent thing. If there were some people that were like paying attention to the community and the desires of the community, I think that would make a lot of sense. You want to know the other fun part is that there's a whole like fucking geographical divide here of that. Not only all of that, but all of that, and include the fact that we're talking a Japanese company having to take notice of an American Western like fucking like IP that happened. That whole cultural boom happened in fucking America. Like, and you're expecting that this global company situated in Japan took that level of, they noticed because people bitched and griped about like the possible asset stealing to the point they had to like respond to that. They never responded to Palworld as a game. They never attempted to take Palworld down as like a clone of Pokemon. Like, it was only about whether or not they possibly stole assets, and I think it was determined that they didn't. But it's like to take the fucking flash in the pan that was Palworld and start applying that to, is this company now making decisions because of Palworld? Did we finally got them to listen? Like, no, you didn't. Pokemon Legends ZA was in production since Pokemon Legends Arceus came out. It has been in production for almost 3 years, if not more at this point. That's just how this shit goes. Like, that's not how game development works. Game development, you don't put a thing out and then 5 weeks later you have a whole presentation and animation put together for a game coming out in a year. That's not the game development life cycle.
That's like what I was saying was more, do you think they're delaying it another year to put more polish on it?
I don't
One,
know.
not for Palworld.
Or do you think they always plan? Because you said they
If
were.
they do, I think it will be more likely that it will be is a response to their community and the quality issues that their community
Yeah.
have been like.
If this is in fact a decision that they're making, it definitely has more to do with the ongoing outcry about like the Pokemon cycle, the Pokemon development cycle. It has nothing. I'm specifically like answering to whether or not Palworld had anything to do with that. No,
So you don't think they're like, oh, there might be alternatives. We better.
no, because
No?
once again, if that was a thing, Tim would have made that happen.
Now,
Cassette Beast
like-
would have made that happen. The fucking myriad of other like creature collectors and monster tamers would have made that happen.
True.
Palworld would have to mature over a much longer period of time to become a much bigger threat for it to make an impact.
Also, for all the shit people are throwing at Pokemon and trying to praise Palworld for, Palworld is not even that great of that isn't even that highly polished of a game.
Yeah.
It's just a game on a PC. Like,
It really is.
it's a game that's leveraging a more powerful machine. In fairness and truth, Pokemon is woefully under polished for what it should be, even for the Switch. But once again, if you were to take that and just throw it on a PC, you're still going to get better performance, like just at base off rip.
I heard about like fucking there's mud in a game that's like 1 trillion polygons, and every time you go there, your game crashes. Is that real? That's a real thing.
It might be. I still have no. In Pokemon?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Which one?
No, I'm saying no. That's never been a thing.
I'm pretty. They were talking about it on Drawfeed.
Pokemon. I'm curious what they're referring to and if it's a game they actually played.
Yeah, it's a game. She was talking about how when they came over, they would walk to the mud that slowed the game down.
Yeah, there was definitely shit that will slow the game down. I think it's particularly bad in Scarlet and Violet. There's some anytime you have to be around water is a bad time. And some of the more like densely populated forests is not a good time, but we're talking like 15, maybe 12 frames a second, 12 frames per second at the lowest, at the low end. I've never
I can't verify specifics, so
That's
I'm
fair.
not going to comment on any further. But yeah,
I've never experienced anything where it was slow to the point of crashing the game. There was a lot of like memory leak stuff with Scarlet and Violet that was brought up way back, but a lot of those have also been kind of like not necessarily debunked, but definitely overstated and definitely coming from people that were looking for ways to break the game. If you just play the games normally, you do not run into most of the shit that people were reporting. It's a situation of there's plenty to criticize the game for without making shit up. And you got a lot of people that were making shit up or specifically going out of their way to find shit that like was ultimately like, yeah, you're gonna find shit when you're looking for shit, like type of situation. Once again, not to absolve like Game Freak of the quality like dip that Pokemon has been in since they moved over to 3D and the Switch, but definitely like let's come at it as a fair comparison. Like there's shit to complain about and there's fair criticisms without, and it's you almost kind of diminish your own criticisms when you're making shit up and you're trying to find shit to whole conversation. Legends Arceus I remember being a pretty decently polished game. I think one of the only things about Legends Arceus was its LODs were really weird because the LOD pop in was like it would jump from the extremely low poly to extreme high poly with like a virtual like 20 feet distance.
Oh no.
So you were like already up on the thing before it popped in, but that was it. Like frame rate was really stable somehow, and it was doing way more for the most part. I wouldn't say it was doing way more, but it was like doing a pretty good amount. It wasn't doing any it was doing about the same amount that Scarlet and Violet was, but its frame rate was a lot more stable. I wouldn't say it was at 60. It was probably, I think, running mostly 30 most of the game. I think it was locked at 32. Sorry, locked at 30 also. But it definitely didn't experience the same kind of slowdowns that Scarlet and Violet did. And I'm personally going to say that's attributed to the team that was working on it. Game Freak division team B seems to be having a much better go of it than team A. Yeah, but we'll see with this one. We'll see what happens. Apparently, Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be taking place within just the one city. So that whole blueprint is going to be the whole game. But that was based off like one report from the official Nintendo website. So there could be some play with the words going on here of what they mean by take place within the city. That also is what led into me going, I think this could be both a future and a past game of future after the city's already been built and you're exploring like those portions. And then you go back to the past when it was just all wilderness before development and you get to explore like the wild areas to actually catch Pokemon in or something. We'll see. But on the front of whether or not Palworld had any hand in this, obviously it's not as 0% as hyperbolic as I can be. I have to accept that it's very possible. I don't sit in on any board meetings at Game Freak. I don't know what goes on in those board rooms. I don't know what conversations are being had at Game Freak. But given the juggernaut that Game Freak and Pokemon is, I don't foresee a game that I think in its lifetime it might have 15 million sales now. I'm not gonna put fuck it, I'm gonna look it up. Like 25 mil. That's nothing to sneeze at. I'll absolutely give it that. But
versus,
I think that still technically is more than what Scarlet and Violet itself sold. Like Scarlet and Violet did not sell that. That's a lie because it's the best selling Pokemon games actually.
I'd be surprised if any Pokemon game sold less than that, at least the newer ones coming out. Really?
Yeah.
What?
So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So Palworld sold 25 million as of like February 26th.
Oh.
And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have sold 24.36 million.
By December of
2023, which I would imagine that number cooled down pretty quickly after that. I would still argue a game strictly on the Switch versus a game that had Steam and Xbox support behind it. That was on both Steam and Xbox. Either way, like
that is more than I thought Power was doing, but even then, I don't think it.
But less than
my
5%
stance.
have even finished the game or made it even that far in. So there's a lot of people who bought the game and never really did anything with it.
Yeah, I might buy the game just to go in and check it out, just to
I
make sure
have
that
it.
I'm not talking my ass that much. Actually, can I play it on here? Because I don't.
Yeah,
I don't really want to give them my money.
How much
I won't
is
lie.
it?
$30.
3-0.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's we'll sit down and play it. I'm down. I'm cool. I'm down to sit down and play it. Once again, this is not a dig at Palworld, right? It's just don't get delusional and think that this is like, y'all know that dude who did the Richmond North of Richmond, that country ass song that has got super popular for a while, maybe like 2 months ago or so, 2-3 months ago.
No.
Some yee ass country song got super popular, and everybody, both Democrat and Republican, left and right leaning, everybody was super behind it because it was sticking it to the rich folks, right? Like, it'd be like that, and thinking that he has now made some major big difference in the music industry and what like message is going to get sent. It'd be like that song happening. Like, the fact that y'all don't even know who this dude is. Imagine people saying that because Beyonce dropped a country song had something to do with the fact that he did a country song that got really popular. That is what we're talking about right now. Like, don't try to attribute a move to something that does not have the weight behind it to have made that move happen. just because you are wishing for that move to have happened. It's not. That's just not how it works.
Now, if Palworld continued to have those sales, took that money and continued to make made an excellent product, was able to achieve popularity over in the long term, not just because of like people were talking about it and because people were comparing it to Pokemon, but because it was a good and very fun game,
right?
And continued to do that over the years. I could see it applying pressure to Pokemon.
Yeah,
but with the way things are right now,
it's not something that's gonna happen in fucking 6 weeks.
Well, and even if it was something that was posing a threat to Pokemon this quickly, I don't see a company like Game Freak. I don't know. I feel like they would have too much pride.
Yeah,
but that's speculation.
It's speculation, of course, but
ooh,
you good?
Little cramp in my diaphragm and abdomen.
Right. But yeah, that turned into a long conversation. I thought it would, but that is Pokemon news / Palworld discussion for this week. It is. Nice. I'm not gonna say that I'm hyped for the next Pokemon game. It's mostly I've really just cooled down on hype for any video games nowadays. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of it and seeing what we get. I'm probably gonna get it. I have no reason not to get it. And we'll see where that goes. So, let's jump to this. And you so much. I hate you so fucking much. Why did you make me watch this again?
Because it's funny.
What the fuck did he just say?
Fuck, he forgot to put his Crocs in sports mode.
And that was going to be more of a, I guess, segue into.
I didn't bring it up this time, by the way. But AI, here we go.
Oh, that's something else too. I was starting to talk about the other video previously.
Oh, okay.
But this is I mean, the other video we just watched, I was gonna segue into how we liken that anime. So.
Oh yeah, Solo Leveling.
We don't have to talk about it for a long time, but
no,
that was just that was.
Solo Leveling's been really fun.
I know you're very familiar with the series, Flo.
Right. As someone who knew nothing about that series going in, Solo Leveling has been a time.
I would read it 3 times whenever it came out because I would read all the available translations on Megadex.
Jesus.
So mega fan.
Extreme mega fan. For good reason though. It's a good show.
Absolutely.
It was funny. We were watching the most recent episode and I had commented to Fluff how it's kind of weird that like shit really popped the fuck off in episode 2 and then kind of cooled down from there. That level of like blood and gore.
The episode where they sort of reunite the original dungeon.
Yeah, that's what we watched. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't that one, the episode before that, the one where he's in the fire castle, the instance dungeon.
Yeah.
So it would have been the episode before this.
They do a lot of this. They do like,
and then
Mm-hmm.
and it spikes. But it's a fun time. It's interesting, like kind of watching him learn the system that he's been gifted with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a lot of fun.
I waited like a couple weeks so that the dub could catch up. So I'm on the dub right now.
Oh, you're watching dub.
Yeah.
Slut.
I know. I need some English. Like I'm now more used to sub because I cannot wait for stuff. Like with One Piece, I can't wait for the dub. I can't. So I have to watch the sub. And that's my kind of how it is with a lot of shows that I enjoy.
You're
it's like,
not
okay, I'm
loyal
okay with
to
sub.
dubs or subs, and
Nope.
yet you're still sitting here telling me you're waiting for English.
Yep. I don't know.
I don't give a shit.
But
I don't know. I guess English is just one less thing for me to think about while I'm enjoying.
I don't have to read,
Yeah.
so it's more fun for me to watch it. Okay.
Unfortunately,
Right.
I'll have to do the brain thing where I look at the word, know the word mean. Told me follow Sikonith.
Right.
Public.
Fuck.
just reading.
Tome E. Okay. Anyway, I'm in the kind of the direct opposite of I'm at the point where I'm so used to reading subtitles that even if I'm watching something in English, so like take like Dimension 20, I have the subtitles on and I find myself reading them anyway. Fucking TikTok videos, I'm reading the subtitles almost every fucking time.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I mean, I also keep subtitles on for English stuff too, and I feel like I'm pretty much the same way with that. But when there is for anime, I guess this is like anime specific. For me, if I could watch One Piece dubbed all the way to the current episodes, I would. Right? I love the sub and you know the Japanese voices, they're great. But it's just one less thing for me to you know just listen and understand and watch the beautiful animation. That's what I really want to see. I don't want to have to gaze down really quick to read it and then look back up really quick to see what the fuck is happening with these
reading skills
beautiful, amazing frames. I can't read as fast as all of y'all. I'm sorry.
Boy, I'm a slow ass reader, and I know you ain't reading slower than me.
Weak.
You're just a disappointment.
Damn.
No, I probably do read slower than you, Mr. Manhwa.
I highly doubt it. I have several learning disabilities.
And yet you still probably read faster than me.
You're gonna say something?
I hate reading. It's so painfully slow. So I'm probably the slowest one here.
Now we're all gonna have a competition.
Yeah. They're all gonna determine who's the slowest reader.
I'm actually kind of genuinely curious because most people that I've ever like sat down with read significantly faster than I do.
I will say I have had moments of like showing y'all stuff I know you've had to read, and I just off my own personal assessment, I'm definitely giving it to Izzy. Is probably the slowest reader in here, but I would also like to see that kind of like just like put it to the competition. You know,
I mean,
maybe we'll figure out how to do that someday. Maybe that'll be a challenge on the show.
Actually, though, that would be interesting to as a challenge on the show for sure.
I mean, you would just all read the same thing on a time limit, and then you'd count out the
first
words
place
that you
gets something,
read.
second, last place gets something, and middle has to do a punishment.
You just stole that from Game Changers.
I didn't. No, actually, I came up with that by myself, but then I immediately made the connection to Game Changers, and I liked it even more.
Yeah. You do know they did that as an episode, right?
Yeah, well, like, no, they did the middle place wins. We're doing the opposite.
Oh, you're right. But yeah, no.
Because we want each of us to genuinely go as fast as possible.
Or
But
as slow
really,
as
we're
possible.
testing to see who's coming in last.
Right.
But
No.
also, so really, if you're a second, you have to step on a bed of nails. You have to eat a Lego.
Eat a Lego?
Why are we trying to maim the fucking loser?
The only thing we can lose at this point is our bodily autonomy.
You have to be paralyzed from the waist down.
Damn.
Present
You
me your
have to
spine,
break
boy.
your calf.
Present me your
Break
spine.
Oh man. Anyway, solo leveling, pretty great. While we're on anime, fucking Apothecary Diaries. So we started watching that, and we're almost 20 episodes in.
Yeah.
Like 17 something like that.
You guys are about caught up to where I was when I was reading. I'm going to have to keep zooming ahead.
Nice. That's been a really fun show.
I think the anime is actually a little bit better than the manga.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I like the way that the way they portray the characters in the anime. I think is a little bit more energetic and lively than in the manga, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's like all the characters are really good. I like that there's no like villain, and it presents itself more as like it's kind of like a murder mystery of sorts. So there's like the mystery of the week is essentially what it ends up becoming. Literally, like every episode, there is either someone dies, someone's found dead, someone attempts a poisoning, or some stupid shit happens, which sets up your mystery for the episode. And then your main protagonist, she is constantly drawn in, even though she never wants to. She's constantly drawn in because she's just so fucking smart. And you end up finding out she's actually like, her dad trains her into like this kind of detective thinking. She has really good deductive reasoning. And she's like helping fucking solve these crimes. And another part I really like, I appreciate is that all of her deductive work still ties into the fact that she's an apothecary. It ties into like, she has this central part of her character, and everything outside of that ties into how like a part of her like work, the core of her work would kind of relate to it. There's never a moment where it's like, there's no good reason for you to know this information, which it happens a lot with like prodigy / detective kind of stories of like, you know, a level of information, like, you know, like NASA levels of astrophysics that you couldn't possibly know without being a NASA, like current NASA astrophysicist.
Without like a collegiate level education in this subject.
Right. But there's never that point with her, because everything about the mysteries is always tied into something that comes back to like chemicals and herbs and flowers and shit, things that you would know as an apothecary.
Or that you could just reason.
And then stuff you can just kind of reason out.
But no normal person, at least then, would have been able to figure it out.
Exactly. Right. Like, there's one where like a dude gets poisoned he ends up getting poisoned through alcohol by basically having his system overloaded with salt. And she's able to figure out like the alcohol he was drinking has way more salt content than it should. There should be a sweet alcohol. It has a fuck ton of salt in it, to the point that like the dried out like pieces of the jug that fell and broke, when it dried up, it had so much salt in it, it was like a layer of salt inside the thing, coating the sides of it. So like you could literally like wipe off salt from the thing. And it's like, yeah, somebody was putting a fuck ton of salt. As it turns out, actually, he just couldn't taste salt. So someone was actually trying to play a prank on him, and it went too far. And they didn't realize that he couldn't taste salt. He didn't know someone was trying to prank him. And so they
chugging salt water.
He was just chugging salt.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like if you went in the ocean and just started drinking salt water, you'd fuck yourself up real bad.
Yeah.
And
I'd say it's even worse than that. It's like if you boiled ocean water and then started drinking that, like, concentrate.
Yeah, like even more concentrated than that. True.
Yeah. And I think one of the other examples too that I thought was pretty interesting, less interesting and more like, oh, y'all didn't know that? Was when she was basically explaining how allergies work.
How what works?
Allergies.
Oh yeah.
Work. I don't know who exactly she. I was fading in and out throughout their whole watch session of the Apothecary Diaries.
Oh, the fish allergy
I was tired.
thing?
Yeah, the fish
Yeah.
allergy thing. Or
Jinshi is the master.
Purple pretty boy.
yeah.
Jinshu maybe. Either way,
Boyfriend.
soon to be. We'll see if it ever gets there.
One day. I should bet.
We all do. But yeah, no, she was explaining food allergies. I can't. I'm so bad at recalling like specific shit if it wasn't already loaded in the fucking RAM.
I believe it was
brain.
albacore fish, albacore tuna.
Yeah,
It's happened with the last 2 weeks, so I remember it.
fair.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a character who someone there. Basically, there's a character there who was getting harassed by her own, like, supposed to be like her guards, pretty much. And they attempted to feed her something that she should have been allergic to, but in the process of doing that, they swapped dishes. And so what? Someone poisoned a dish, and it was supposed to go to her, wound up going to the wrong person, and luckily it was caught because of that. Because as it turns out, our protagonist is a poison slut. Like she legitimately gets off on being poisoned.
She
It
does.
is the weirdest thing. But she gets the poison dish that was actually meant for the other character, but because her ladies in waiting are kind of dicks, they switch the dish just to make her like allergies act up and a whole host of other shit. There was one recently of as it turns out, like honey made from a specific type of flower nectar is actually poisonous, and that killed a character's baby. And
That tied like 3 different things together.
it tied a bunch of shit together over time that she kind of figured out. It's a really fun show. It's if you like mysteries, if you that aren't always murder, but sometimes sway into murder, sometimes sway in like people die a lot with this show. It tends to happen. If you like that kind of mystery thing and like the mystery of the week type shit, like give it a fucking watch. It's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's been a really fun time.
It's like Dr. Shelock is how I would.
I've never heard of Dr. Shelock.
Well, that's because I just made it up.
I fucking hate this so much.
God damn it.
Oh, you're describing. Okay. All right. I quit the podcast. Oh man, Dr. Shelock. All right. Fucking Christ. We're not watching this video. I'm just gonna executive decision this right now. If y'all know who Tommy Shunith, that is,
I don't know how to pronounce his
how do you
last name.
pronounce his last name?
I mispronounced his name on purpose badly, but I have no fucking clue how to do that last
I'm
one.
assuming it's Shunith or Shonith. Either way, he's a creator. He does some really cool like sketch videos and reels and shorts and shit. He tends to talk a lot with a New York, New Jersey accent sometimes.
Something like that, yeah.
This was the one about having your dentist or surgeon, whatever the fuck, happened to be a person graduated college using ChatGPT. It is a really funny video, but I don't want to have to deal with lining this shit up later on. I'm gonna be cutting so much of this out. But it's a real good one. Last thing I want to talk about before we get over to Manhwa is a new show alert called pause that for a sec. Called the American Society of Magical Negroes. And I happened to see this scrolling through TikTok actually before I ended up finding the trailer, and I was like, yes, I want to see that.
Yep.
So if you don't know literary tropes, there is a trope called the magical Negro. A magical Negro is a usually person of color, generally black, and some kind of Western that supports the main, generally white protagonist in some kind of way in which they come in with a solution that is pretty much magical. They have some kind of solution to the problem at hand that is born from some kind of magic that they know in some kind of way. It is a tried and tested trope that has happened all the time. That has happened quite a bit in especially Western media. And basically this show is taking that concept, and now there's an actual organization of these magical Negroes, is the best understanding I got of what this show is. But we are going to watch this trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a movie.
It is a movie. Oh, in 30th
I was
March.
expecting a TV series.
I was too. And I was really hoping for it to be a TV series, but I think it'll be a fun movie as well.
I think so too, especially if it's a rom-com.
Wow.
This fucking comment. I love the part where Hagrid appears and says, "You're a Negro, Harry." Holy shit. Oh man. Oh man. It seems like a fun premise. I'm a little less excited about it, finding out it's actually a movie. I don't know why I thought it was a TV show. But
Well, it's the promise of a TV, because of all of those TV shows about like
True.
fucking what is it, Umbrella Academy, and most of those like, because it felt like it, because based on the title, it felt like it was going to be centered around the society and the activities of the society,
Right.
versus
Also, the real fun of we love you, buddy. This isn't about you. But the fun of like white people trying to talk about this movie and not being able to say the full title is going to be my favorite thing going forward for a while.
Yes.
I don't take any offense to that. It's just a fact.
It's just a fact. But yeah, it does. I guess it does feel that way, right? Like, I don't know. I really would have been excited for this to be a TV series,
We'll vote for the spinoff.
right? We'll wait. But I'm down to go see this. It comes out in a little over a week and a half.
Yeah,
Let's go see it.
I'm down.
All right.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Looks like a lot of fun.
I saw that trailer. When did that drop? Because I saw this a while ago. Yeah, 2 months ago. Yeah.
I only saw it for the first time like a week ago.
Well, I didn't know about that. This was a trope, and maybe this is where my black art gets taken. But I didn't. I knew of, I guess, that secondary black character coming in with I did not know there was a name for that.
Yeah, there's a name for
Everything.
I'm not gonna trip on you not knowing the specific name of the trope, but it is a common trope.
Mm.
I am personally. That's why I'm going to provoke your black.
Fucking. Is this Remy Malek, or am I thinking of Remy? No, Remy Malek is the other dude that occupies
I'm
this
gonna look it up.
space. He's the one who played Freddie Mercury, I think. I can't think of this dude's name, but he played the spellcaster in the D&D movie.
He did. I loved
Yep.
him in that.
Yeah.
He also played the Pikachu's partner in Detective Pikachu.
Yes, he did. Yep. He's a fun actor. He has this like I will say
Oh, that's the director.
I will say he is currently kind of set up as the safe black actor in Hollywood. Like he is
Which makes this even funnier.
it makes
actually.
this even funnier for being particularly real. Because he's definitely like that is Quentin Tarantino, right?
Justice Smith. Where?
Justice Smith.
Where was Quentin Tarantino?
Right here.
That does look like him.
That looks like Quentin
Yeah.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
The only motherfucker who more than anybody else wants to say nigga so much in his video. Like he puts the word nigga and negro in some of his videos, but I think he never crosses the line into saying it.
He never, like, even when he casts himself in scenes where he could say it, he doesn't say it.
We were watching Django Unchained.
I
and
was expecting him to
we
pop
were
one.
all expecting him to just go on and fucking say it, and
Yeah.
he just didn't say it, but you could tell he kind of wants to. It's like, I don't give a fuck if you say it. I really don't give a shit. Hearing Leonardo DiCaprio just dropping it with all the gusto of a Southern aristocrat was magical. Yeah, no, that was like a fun movie. I guess it'll be something for us to talk about in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We'll,
When does it drop? When are we going to go see it?
March 15th is the official drop date.
Oh,
so
dang.
whenever we can make that happen.
So we're going to go see it
It drops next Friday.
on that Friday?
Yeah.
No, I have Foaling. Shit.
You're going Foaling again?
Yeah.
Dang, nice.
Oh, is that with Cheyenne then?
Yeah.
You just going
Which you are invited. I don't know. I didn't know.
No one
any
had
of
fucking
the-
told me till now.
Well, I didn't. I asked Cheyenne what the details were, and she never got back to me.
We cannot talk about that right now while we're recording.
Fair enough. Well, we'll cut it out.
I will cut it out later. We can go on Saturday.
No, we can't.
Oh, never mind. I guess we can't.
That's when Irish and Ionia is,
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
which is the thing you are invited to if you want.
Thanks for letting me know now. Maybe I will go. Irish this time around.
It's a good time.
Either way, it's coming out the 15th. I'm sure we'll have time somewhere in between then and when it leaves theaters to go fucking see this movie.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Whatever day that happens to be, I'm down to go see it.
We could go see it during the day.
Do
On
I
the
have a tournament
15th.
on the 16th? Oh, I think I do actually.
Yeah, but what?
A disc golf tournament.
Oh.
No, I think it's the 23rd and the 30th. I have to check it later. I think I am free on the 16th.
I don't care about your age.
It's not the 23rd or the 30th. It's the 32th.
The 30th too.
Don't encourage him.
I don't need any encouraging.
Let's get to this fucking model so we can end for the night. It's too goddamn late.
Or discouraging. You can't stop.
I want to so bad. I want to so badly.
To stop me.
Yes.
Over here with your hands around my throat.
Yeah.
Make it kinky, baby.
Harder, daddy.
Harder, daddy. All right. All right. Let's end this with some fucking manhwa.
All right.
The Great Ruler. Let me say that more properly. The Great Ruler. The Great 1,000-Year War. Oh, wait, what? Sorry.
You want me to read it?
Yes, please. Once again, stay with the title because I'm just gonna cut this shit the fuck out.
All right. We have the Great Ruler. The Great Thousand World. It is a place where numerous planes intersect, not interact. A place where numerous planes intersect. A place where many clans live, and a place where a group of lords assemble. The heavenly sovereigns appear one by one from the lower planes, and they will all display a legend that others would desire as they pursue the road of being a ruler in this boundless world. In the endless fire territory that the Flame Emperor controls, thousands of fire blazes through the heavens. Thousands of fire blazes.
That's what it says. It's just bad.
I think it's
Okay.
supposed to be thousands of fires blaze through the heavens.
Okay.
I really did stick you with the worst synopsis to have to read.
I mean, I thought it was okay, and then I was like, no, am I reading it wrong? Okay. Inside the martial realm, the power of the martial ancestor frightens the heaven and the earth. At the West Heaven Temple, the might of the Emperor of 100 battles is absolute. In the northern desolate hill, a place filled with thousands of graves, the immortal owner rules the world. A boy from the northern spiritual realm comes out, riding on a 9 netherworld bird as he charges into the brilliant and diverse world. Just who can rule over their destiny of their path and on becoming a great ruler? In the great 1,000 world, many strive to become a great ruler.
I just want y'all to know that was as painful for us as it was for y'all to hear.
Yeah.
And boys are not helping with that fucking mid-claim. Fluff.
Welcome to the world of middling manhwa. I'm bringing this and the next one specifically because we were talking about the plant one last week.
Sure.
That I asked you to read.
Oh, that, yeah.
All right, I didn't ask you to read. You said you wanted to read
I said
it.
I wanted to read it
you.
just to see how bad it really gets. I
you
never got
do.
around to finishing reading it. But I'm gonna.
Exactly as I expected. Oh shit, I forgot to text you back. So this is a perfect example of this brand of manhwa that the story is just kind of meh. The character is just kind of meh. But it does the like tropes well enough that some people like myself still read it. But I would never give it anything. I would give it a 6 on a good day and a 5 almost every other day. Right? It has 500 something chapters for a reason, and that reason is it's like the water of the manhwa world. Right? It's
bland,
generally
flavorless.
inoffensive, right? Sometimes you're like, I don't really like this Dasani. Sometimes you're like, man, this Fuji is fresh,
Yeah.
but it's still water.
It's all H.
It's no liquid death.
Sponsor, not really, sadly, but
Maybe
hey.
soon, one day, if I drink enough of these on podcast, maybe they'll sponsor us.
Ads on spec. Yeah, it's fine. It's the only reason you'll probably read it is if you're like me and you're like, I want to read more cultivation stuff, but then there's not enough cultivation stuff that's been translated or isn't just really fucking weirdly horny.
Because this man has managed to exhaust an entire category on a fucking goddamn, like, I forget what we want to call this site. A scraping site? A database site?
Yeah. I would say I've exhausted the category, but I'm working on it.
I mean, even that's a scary sounding task.
Right.
But yeah, it's fine. It's really just about a boy who's trying to get his girl.
Fair enough.
He's like, I like you. She's like, fine. And then he's like, all right, let's be badass. And she's like, okay. And she's like, I gotta go. And he's
Okay.
like, I'm coming to get those cheeks one day.
Sweet.
And that's the story.
All right. That is decidedly mid.
Yeah.
So
So go out there, give it a read.
give it a read, man.
Now, generally, I would say, like, because the series I would want to do if I ever like made this like a full like series where we went in depth and like showed stuff up, would be like, is this actually worth your time? This was one where I would say, this is a heavy maybe. This is if you're into the genre, if you're into the tropes, if those things alone, there's things you enjoy.
If just consuming anything about martial worlds and cultivation is your jam,
Then yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't read it.
fair enough. We got one more here. Return of Top Class Master. The star admired by all the strong, the top class master of hounds, Ray, on the verge of the final gateway to becoming a god, is betrayed and killed by the boss master, Anus.
God damn it.
Okay.
That had to have been on purpose. There's no way that someone, even if they are from another country, making
The fact that this is being translated, there's no way you kept the name Anus.
Why the fuck is your series responding to that? You owe us an explanation.
Bitch, did you do it?
She don't want to talk now.
Oh, of course.
Mm.
Regressing to... Okay, I'm going to restart.
It thought you said, "Hey, anus."
Hey, Anus.
Actually, I should have looked at it
Right.
and seen what exactly it was responding to.
Oh my goodness gracious. The star admired by all the strong, the top class master of hounds, Ray.
I think of Hayons. It's a planet.
Hayons? Oh. The star admired by all the strong, the top class master of Hayons, Ray. Ray, on the verge of the final gateway to becoming a god, is betrayed and killed by the boss master Anus, regressing to the time when he was the ultimate loser, Kong Tae Wook, trampled by the bullies and unable to protect his fiancée. Kong Tae Wook, who once was the biggest loser, takes up the sword of revenge against those who ignored and betrayed him in the past, facing the things he couldn't achieve in his past. However, there was a reason he had to live through that miserable past. This feels so AI generated.
Past. It's a past.
As Kang Tai Wook dives into the depths of a conspiracy that only deepens as he uncovers it, his second life, soaked in blood, begins anew. In the past.
From the past.
Fluff, what the fuck did you just have me read today?
I welcome to the world of shit that's just okay. Like this one, this guy goes back inside. He's like, he's literally on the world, right? It's like on an entirely different fucking planet, which is the only reason I started reading this is because I was like, maybe there's like a system of ascension through planets in this that would be kind of interesting. Like maybe there's like sort of like a tower event or like how does he end up getting sucked to another fucking planet is the only reason I'm reading this.
Fair.
Right. And what's the logic behind that? But he goes, literally he's just like in like a beam of energy, like about to ascend to godhood, and then behind a fucking rock, like 15 feet away, is some like bald evil dude in a military uniform, and he comes up and is like, yeah, shoves a hand through his chest,
Of course.
and like pulls a fucking orb out, and is like, now I have all your power,
And I'm going to be the god.
I'm gonna be the guy. He's like, no, I treated you like a brother. You're my second in command.
So you would say that he ripped him a new anus.
Yeah. Well, it's like all of the tropes in the laziest way possible, in the least interesting presentation, one of the least interesting presentations I've ever read. And then he goes back in time, and it's a modern setting, and he's, you know, just like, gangsters are like, we're here to take your divorce contract, take your engagement contract, or we'll beat you up. He's like, fine, you can have it. And then gives it to them, and then beats them up.
Wait, he gives it to them
To then
just to
beat them
beat
up.
him up afterward.
I think at
And
this
take it
point,
back.
to be clear, I think at this point in time, he had already given them up the divorce contract, or the divorce contract. He had already given the paperwork that was like, we're engaged over, and they were just there to humiliate him again.
Damn.
And so the thing that he handed over was evidence that they had ever been engaged in the first place, which is what they were trying to cover up. Because I guess apparently after his dad died, there's just nothing. Him and his mom are just trash now.
Of course.
And the conspiracy behind his dad's death is just like the lamest thing ever. It's like, oh, that one evil group, the only evil group we've known about or have ever pointed out in this series. I think it was them.
Gotta be, because there's no one else we
It's just
thought
one
of.
of those, like, the story is so like loose and doesn't really make a lot of sense. The characters' internal monologues don't really make any sense.
Yeah.
And he's just out here, his fiance, he's running away from home because she wants to be with him anyways.
I'm curious if it's translation that kind of fucks this over. I'm not positing that based on anything I'm seeing here or what you're saying. Just like in general, I know there's like, so we started reading Give Me the Pacifier,
Mm-hmm.
and I know one of the translations I was reading was really bad.
Yeah.
And then the one that you gave me was pretty decent.
Mhm.
You chill out over there. And so I'm curious if sometimes things just get like fucked up in translation, and whoever does the scanlations is like just fucking up the story somehow.
A lot of times they do. So there's levels,
Mhm.
right?
As it
Well,
turns
there's-
out, yeah.
Levels of production, levels of story quality, and like to an extent, I'm sure that the quality of this thing overall is probably tainted by the fact that the translation on this one I don't think is very high quality. Like, there's a good
Okay.
read there. But I think even if it was high quality, I don't think it would make an interesting story.
Fair enough.
Right. I don't think it's original enough. I don't think things are interesting enough. I don't think the conflict makes enough sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really worth everybody's time. There's a reason only 27 people are tracking it or whatever. Or, sorry, 500. There's 27 chapters.
Wrong number association.
Whoop.
I was gonna say, is it 27 chapters long, or is it only currently up to 27?
It's only currently up to 27 chapters.
Okay.
This one's fairly new, at least
Still
fairly new,
ongoing.
being available for translation.
Now let's go find out another website where it says it's like fucking number 4 on trending or some shit.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, because there are a lot of stories like these where you can tell that they are just churned out, right?
Mhm.
They throw the tropes in there. They maybe pick an interesting setting or an interesting system, but they don't really think about like the story overall. Really, it's just
It could actually be AI generated.
tough dude gets the dime. It could be AI generated, but I'll probably pull up more examples of this in the future. But
Okay.
they really are like filler, and they get read because people like me have too much time in their days, and they're like, you know what? Well, I'm waiting for the shit that I actually care about.
Mhm.
I'm gonna read the closest thing that I can get, which is this garbage.
Fair. Oh man, that's weird because we just got two like mid comics, but opposite sides of the coin. Whereas like Great Ruler is like mid, but passable, and then this is mid and don't.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I am down to hear about more mid shit.
Yeah. Honestly, for as bad as reading these synopses are, they're very funny.
They're very funny.
When like there's like grammar issues or like mistranslated words and shit. Like,
Or just naming a character Anus.
just straight up
Killed by
ass.
the boss master Anus. I love that it's in quotes too. That's the other part I love so fucking much.
I wonder if
Anus.
it was like if the author was maybe like anus, like or something like.
It's
It's
very
not pronounced
possible.
anus. It's not it's anus.
Ugh, it's very possible.
It's also very possible they put butthole into Google Translate and then picked the English word for it.
They could have.
Eh.
They very much could have. Oh my lord! I know I've said this about episodes before. This feels like it's gonna be the most unstructured shit. This feels like the most like chaotically unhinged. Well, not that, but
ADHD tangent.
yes,
Yeah.
This feels like the most
Welcome to my
ADHD
brain.
tainted fucking episode we've done so far. Editing this is gonna be a fun time. We'll see how this goes.
In my brain.
So you would think that like as we continue to do more episodes, we get a little more
Yeah, you know, right?
organized with
It seems
how we-
like we do, and
I
then
think
there's
both
just a.
happens at the same time.
I think like the overall quality is up, but there always has to be a dip at some point, and then we
You know,
kind of
this just
back
is all
up.
downhill. From
It's just
here.
out of the hill from here. Oh my goodness!
Now, as we get more
gracious.
comfortable, we give ourselves permission to go on more tangents.
This is true.
And at the same time, we come with more stuff to talk about, and we're more structured, so it's
Hey.
real interesting.
Yeah, as long as we
Mhm.
make it to 2 hours, by the time I'm done editing all this shit, I'm good.
Yeah. And it's all thanks to you guys for watching us and sticking with us and being awesome.
To my parents who now know about this video, you guys are the fucking best.
Shout out
To
to
my
you
parents, you
specifically.
better not be here. I haven't told you about this. So, like, if,
To my
like,
sister.
we're talking right now, and it's still 2024. What's going on?
That's what's happening.
Why are you stalking me?
To my sister who learned about this today, and if you're listening to this, you're probably not listening to this because you
Keep your mouth
probably
shut.
aren't interested in any of the stuff that we talk about.
Oh, definitely not.
Sup? Go to sleep. Past your bedtime.
It's 6 o'clock.
Leave.
No, don't look at the time. Don't look down at the time clock right now. He said what he said. It's past your bedtime. Go to bed.
Yep, your feet probably stink. Your hair's all a mess.
Damn.
Probably smell terrible. Yeah. Go to bed. Take a shower. Yeah. Go put your feet in that little foot massager thing. Heat up your robe in your towel warmer. And
She's
yeah.
surprised with it. I forget she has that now.
And massage your back with your massage gun. Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Turn that basement into a spa.
So fucking nice.
It's really nice. I've done that
So
before.
fucking nice.
I got my massage gun. I got like my leg massager thing. I don't have a towel warmer. I kind of want to get one now. I kind of do
I
want
just
to get
need a
one.
machine I can lay down and it's gonna massage me.
That would be awesome. That would be fucking lovely.
A massage couch.
Let's get massage chairs.
Well, that does sound nice.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Let's
I was
get
like,
a
you got-
professional masseuse.
Or get like the massager
I
for
know
your
one.
chair. But
Can we keep them on staff?
Maybe.
Just the way you were trying to set me up with?
Yeah.
but no, like a massaging couch. Though,
Would be a fun time.
like, has that been done? Is that a thing?
A massaging cow.
Massaging cow.
Perfect. We get a nice back massage from them, and then we get our meat and our.
Do you guys ever watch hoof trimming
Milk?
videos?
Hook-
Mm,
Wait, hoof what videos?
Why did I just make the sound of a cow?
You know, if you actually, I'm gonna save this for the future. So I'm gonna introduce you to the world.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm fairly certain I have.
Where they
but-
clean them?
Welcome back to Nate the Hoof Guy. If you don't know what that means, we're not true brothers.
That's fair.
I mean, I guess
It's so
that's
fucking
what those
expensive.
It's super expensive, but I'm not gonna trust it because it's on fucking Wayfair.
I wonder what Timu's got.
With massage,
Timu thinks I'm a woman.
USB ports for living room. Say that again?
Said Timu thinks I'm a woman.
Oh,
I mean, ads for Timu all the time.
See, those are
and they're
more
always
like-
for women's lingerie.
massage chairs smushed together.
it looks like it might be. Let's just get 3 of these.
And what's the price point on these, sir?
That's $1,700. It's not that bad.
No.
Save up to 81%.
How?
Ow! Where'd it go? It removed the message.
It was like, no, wait, don't
Wait,
show him
no,
that.
we
Don't show him that.
No.
Because if that's the
50.
case, we may as well.
May as well. Shit.
Shit.
I do. In all honesty, I do want to get one of these one day. Not for $12,000.
World's first medical massage chair.
We're gonna stop looking at this one. Not for this one. Not for that one. Okay, this one is a lot more. Yeah, I think this is the one I saw a while back. But it's like, that's right. Dark Reader, turn the fuck off. Yeah, a little under 1,000. That's not too bad, actually. I might do that.
For real?
Yeah, not right now, but
Oh, like eventually.
because like a lot of this kind of stuff I always buy on like either Shop or Afterpay or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I read this all wrong. I didn't. Some reason I read the 4 interest free installments and jumped over the or to it saying 4 interest free installments of $85.74 a month. I was like, that don't add up to $950.
Right.
But yeah,
That's what
like
they wanted.
this is how I pay for like my PC.
Mm.
This is basically I paid for using either Affirm or Afterpay or whatever the fuck I used.
Mm-hmm.
I pay for a lot of like really big purchases nowadays with this kind of stuff, and it makes it a whole lot more manageable,
Yeah, I do too.
especially because they're interest free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
So I might actually straight up do this one day. Y'all gotta come up. We're gonna open up the podcast, and Ruben's just gonna be sitting in a whole ass fucking massage pod, the whole thing.
Yes, just one
Oh.
of these episodes randomly. You're just gonna.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that is the end of this episode. I feel like the things I'm gonna have to cut up, the way I'm gonna have to cut up this episode is gonna be gnarly. I get a strong feeling. But anywho, oh yeah, I said I was gonna start doing this a whole lot more, and I still forget to do it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. These kind of podcasts, these kind of projects, they live and breathe on support. We like growing this kind of thing is always going to take actual support and actual engagement. So liking the video, sharing it anywhere you deem necessary, commenting more things you would like us to talk about. If there's any topics you want to chime in on, always make sure you comment. All of that fun jazz. We are chugging along here. This is episode 15 we're recording, and like we're making it happen. Still closing in on that 5-month first step, and then kind of seeing where we go from there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Check us out over at on Twitter at Kingz After Dark. Check us out over at Instagram at KAD Podcast. Those are both probably incorrect. I'll put up the real names on the screen.
Check me out on Tinder and Hinge.
Check him out on Tinder and Hinge. Check him out on Twitch at Formz.
Mm-hmm.
No, Formz XX.
Yeah, Formz XX. Yeah.
Yep. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Formz XX. Check me out pretty much everywhere. Elite 4 Blitz. And yeah, I think we'll see you all next week. Or maybe we won't. Maybe I'll throw you off for a curveball.
Ooh, we like those.
We do.
Do we?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
But All you right. might. All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.
gonna be the no blood episode.
And broke Ruben's bones. Said Ruben, that's not fair.